Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Should be good now. Should be good now. You guys got me? We good? They're still saying no audio, but there should be audio now. Audio? Okay, yes. The chat's a second behind, so it's been on for a second, so you'll hear me asking over and over again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm just waiting on Jay to pop in here. I'm not sure what's going on, but I wanted to start it so you guys knew we would be here. But he should be popping in here in just a second. But what I was saying was, if you guys can hear me okay, I also have a new mic setting, so that's probably what messed it up. Let me know if it's too loud, too quiet. I can adjust that. But happy Friday, everybody. Jay should be here in just a minute, hopefully. But got a fun show tonight on this Friday. Fun and fancy-free Friday. We're going to review A Quiet Place 2. We're going to review It's Me, Billy. We've got Joker 2 news to talk about. Not Halloween Kills news, but a fun idea to talk about that we're going to talk about. And some cool shit like that. So it's going to be a nice night. I'm pretty sure that we're going to have Jay in a second. Pretty sure. But anyways, how the hell are you people? We missed you. We only got to do an hour on Wednesday, so it feels like we haven't done this in forever. Patreons, don't forget we have a Patreon stream tomorrow night. That's going to be a blasty blast. And hopefully Jay's just taking a crap. But until then, you will just have to look at my ugly face. And that's just all there is to it. God damn it. How many people in the chat have actually watched It's Me, Billy? That's one that hopefully a lot of people have watched. We'll do both reviews spoiler free, by the way. I don't know if I already said that. But it was awesome. Quiet Place 2 was awesome. Both of them will be spoiler free. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to have fun tonight. Hopefully, we're all good. But, you know, shit happens, man. The weather here sucks. It's rainy. It's windy. Hopefully that's not the cause of what's going on with Jay. Could be having some internet problems, but we'll sort it out. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. What have you guys been eating? Is the question I wanted to ask you. Because I've been on a low-carb diet, so I've been eating lots of meat and cheese, and it's wonderful. And then when I feel like I'm low on carbs, I just eat candy. Because candy doesn't have any carbs in it. The other day, I tried McDonald's. McDonald's has 2 new sauces. I don't know if you follow us on Twitter, but we were talking about it. They got 2 new sauces. Oh, hang on. Hang on. We got Jay. We got 2 new sauces, and we got Jay now. But they have a sweet chili sauce, and it tastes like ass. It tastes like it came out of the middle of a jelly donut. And then they have a Cajun sauce that's just tastes like watered-down Big Mac sauce. It's not even good.
What in the James and Giant fucking Peach happens?
Were you taking a poop, man?
I never got a text from you.
I called you twice.
I swear, I literally got nothing, but there was a giant rainstorm. That's what I was telling April. Maybe, I don't know. I got 0 text message or no phone call. That's why I just sent you that text.
Yeah. I texted you like 3 times. I called you twice. I got hater buttoned after 2 rings. Well, not hater button, but whatever's going on with your phone, it kicked me out.
Well, it was the storm. I didn't get jack shit.
Yeah, it must be the storm. Took out our towers.
Yes, it did. There's a solar storm brewing.
It's gonna get inside of you. It's just gonna do what it does.
Yeah.
I thought you maybe were taking a painful shit or something.
No, I would have kept my phone on me, even when I was pooping.
Yeah, that's true. You always have your phone when you're pooping.
No, yeah, sometimes I forget it, and then I got to read the back of Windex bottles or whatever's underneath the sink.
I keep comics next to the toilet just in case that
I got to start doing that. I don't even care if it's like an old 1827 newspaper. I'll read that shit, and then I'll come out talking about, it's like, we got to prepare for the oil rush.
Yeah, I'll read the back of a shampoo bottle if I have to. I'm like, I didn't know there was zinc in this.
Dude, I'll tell you what, The Quiet Place 2 was good shit.
Yeah, I know, man. I liked it.
That was also my first time back in the theater.
I know. How was it? Did you like it?
It wasn't bad. I figured there would be like less people, but there was like a whole group of like youngish looking kids, probably like teenagers or something. I was like, oh, they're gonna go see Cruella, so it's great. And they're like, Quiet Place. I was like, fuck. I was like, you better sit as far fucking away from me as possible. They did though. They have like the whole social distancing thing, but the theater I went to is like a small theater, so even then. But I mean, it was just them, and then there was like an older guy. It's always weird. It was like this dude looked like he came off of like an Orville Redenbacher popcorn box, and he was going in by himself to watch a horror movie. It's always weird to see those people, like when they're 70 plus years old, they go by themselves to watch a horror movie. But horrors have no age, but I guess horror fans have no age either. Because you think like if you're 70, 75 years old, you grew up with like the universal classic monsters, like like the black and white versions.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't appeal to you to have a gory ass or even like modern day horror.
Well, hey, it's like John Krasinski said. He said that like these days, the best way to get an original story in there and told is to do it through horror, because horror is like one of the last bastions that actually does original stories, and they don't have to tie it to like a superhero IP to get a fucking movie made. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why the old people understand.
Well, I mean, if we make it to 70, which I doubt, I'll probably make it to 45 and be flying. But if make it to 70, I guess because we grew up with horror, like Nightmare on Elm Street and shit like that, well, I'll still watch horror movies. So I guess I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Man, I go to the movies by myself all the time. I love it. Did you go by yourself?
No, April went with me.
Oh, okay. I go by myself all the time. I love it. It's very peaceful and therapeutic. But this one time I went to see Hereditary by myself, and there was a dude. They were pretty busy, and this dude was like one seat away from me.
Did you hear all that, by the way?
What?
Those were all your text messages coming through at once.
Oh, look at that. It's back. The system is back. But no, every single time, like when that chick's head got cut off on the pole, we were both like, oh, we didn't mean to catch eye contact with each other, but it was like, respect. We're both scared.
But
yeah.
I remember watching I watched a few by myself, but I did remember watching one of the best therapeutic moments of my life was when I was going through the divorce with the Horror Master 5000, and I went and seen X-Men Origin Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm.
I went and saw that bitch 3 times in theater. That was perfect. That was some good therapeutic shits right there.
Yeah, I would have seen that one by myself too, because I remember I bought the Butterfingers. I was
like, if Wolverine can go through time in the 70s and his ass can get dragged under the water at the end of the movie, I can get through this. Don't worry about it. Be like Wolverine.
Yeah, dude, I had the same thing in my theater. There was a group of people in the back that during the previews would not shut the fuck up, and I thought, this is the worst. This is the worst movie. And I went with MJ, my 11-year-old, and I was like, this is the worst movie to have the talkers. And because A Quiet Place, as you remember, we can start the show and just go ahead and do the review for it. Don't worry, guys, we'll keep it spoiler free. But yeah, dude, this movie, just like the other one, has elongated spaces.
Yeah.
With just silence, obviously, because it's a quiet place. You gotta be quiet or the monsters will eat your fucking mouth off. But yeah, dude, like every single thing. Like MJ kept trying to eat her Reese Pieces, and I was like, wait until the music comes back, because it's too loud, because it's like I mean, I've never, like, same thing with the first time we went to see the first one. Anything you do in that theater is amplified, and it's always during important scenes. That's only annoying.
I had to wait for any kind of like really loud part for me to cough, because I was afraid someone would be like, "Get him the fuck out of here!"
COVID.
Because I smoke, so I cough. I got smoker's cough, so I couldn't help it sometimes, and then I go, and I look around, like I felt like people were gonna be like, "That shit's scarier than the fucking John Krasinski movie."
You wait to see some woman go from her seat from behind you.
I feel like I go, you gonna die. No, but I liked it a lot. There were some things that, the elongated parts of it were, I think they could have cut out some shit, but the best part about it for me was Cillian Murphy. I love that fucking guy. I'm glad that we got a sequel just to see him and his character flourish in this. And on top of that, I do know that John Krasinski had said before, because I was reading, I read this review for it from this guy in the New Yorker, and this guy sounds like he's had a tampon up his nose for 35 years because he was shitting all over it. But one of the main things he was saying is that there was no character development in this, and they just kind of left all that on the cutting room floor, and that Krasinski should have originally stuck with his notion that it should have been a one-off only horror movie, and that would have been it. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what he was watching, because I think that all over the place there was character development. I just feel like it was dragged out in a lot of instances. Well, as far as like lulls in the action, or not even just the action, just the thriller part.
I felt there was only one lull for me, but it did stand out because it was right after the opening sequence. The opening sequence, and they talked about this in the interviews, it's in the trailers. The opening sequence takes you back to before the first A Quiet Place. So it's a Quiet Place sandwich, and it shows like the normalcy. They're at a baseball game, and it shows what happens when these fucking things. I don't know if you can call them aliens or if you call them monsters, because they did come. It looks like from the sky. But at the same time, it shows you what it was like before all this, which is it's weirdly cathartic too, because of what we all just went through, and now things are starting to get back to normal. It's really cathartic to see that in a movie, and I think they did that on purpose. But no, the opening sequence is so badass, and a lot of it's in the trailer, but the way that they do it it makes it still special in the theater when you're watching it. But as soon as that first sequence ends, they go right into the current moment. It's almost like Halloween 2. They go right into it, and it's so quiet. And now you have to be quiet. And now there's a lot of walking in the woods, and there's a lot of this and all of that. And it really, like, I mean, the movie starts with the dynamic up here, and then it nosedives into, like, let's get back into shit. So that sequence right there was kind of slow for me too. But when it gets back going again, I thought it flowed the rest of the way pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the original was better. I mean, I do, but I still think it was good. I mean, it was a good movie for sure. Like, it was a good sequel. I didn't think there was a problem with it. I mean, as far as like I mentioned, the character development's there. Cillian Murphy. Someone said it's a pronounced with a K. I don't know what you mean. Silicon Murphy.
I've always called him Cillian, but I guess it's
Cillian. That's what I said. But anyway, yeah, I loved him in it. I thought he was great, and it made me real like when you saw the prequel part with John Krasinski. It made me miss him, his plaid shirt and his beard throughout most of the movie. I really did miss that guy. I wanted him in the fucking movie. But either way, I got real strong vibes toward the end of this flick, though. I mean, some of you guys might know what I'm talking about that have played the game. The Last of Us. It was just fucking like The Last of Us. I mean, even the way they were dressed and what they were doing, it reminded me of something like that. Like, because there's a part that happens where some things have to go down for things to be fixed, or at least temporarily fixed or whatever. And it's on this adventure kind of thing. I got real strong vibes of The Last of Us, and I wonder if he watched that, if Krasinski had watched that before, because I toward the end, really hardcore vibes.
Yeah, dude, the way that you could see the jump he's made as a director from that movie to this one. I think I might actually like this one better. I have to go back and rewatch that other one again, but for me, they're right there with each other. But no, the direction, you can see the shit that he's learned, that end sequence, and this doesn't give anything away, but you guys know how in like superhero movies, at the end of the superhero movie, or old action movies would do this too. At the end, you got the main character fighting the main bad guy, and you've got sub characters fighting other people, and the way that they'll go, like, they'll show some of this fight, and then they'll go over to this fight while it's going on. They do that in X-Men movies a lot. They do that with like 3 things happening at one time at the end of this, but the way that they sequence, like someone will go to grab a gun, and when they pick up the gun, you'll be in the middle of the next scene where someone's got another weapon, and the way he transitioned and the editing in this was fucking top notch, man. It was really good.
I thought where he stood out the most. I mean, yeah, the thriller elements were there, and that was great, and I think he did a great job with that. But I feel like he's actually got a pretty good career if he ever wants to pursue that in action movies, because the action sequences that happen in this were actually pretty well done. Now, I'm not talking about, because there's not just the monsters floating around that are a danger anymore. They actually introduce the world and open it up a bit more, as there's other dangers rather than just the creatures from the Black Lagoon coming down and trying to swallow your wiener. They got like, well, I don't want to give it away too much, but the scenes that happen with Cillian Murphy, like those, like the music, and then they does those moments with those actions that are overflowing with each other in another scene. That really worked. Really, I mean, I don't know. I could honestly see him doing a really badass action movie with like, Stallone even. I mean, I think Stallone could work with John Krasinski really well and do something like old school 80s action. Or that new dude that I can never remember his name from Crank. Jason Statham. Yeah.
Chef Chelios.
Even though it's weird they put Jason Statham up there with the Stallones and Arnie. The thing about him though is like he's not. First off, he's not been around long enough. I don't think. I mean, he might be close in age, but he's not. He doesn't have nearly what under the belt those amazing action flicks. Like Stallone and Arnie are legendary. You don't approach the temple, you may look from the outside and take pictures. Jason Statham.
I like Statham. He's a nice holdover, but he wouldn't. He's nothing like those guys. But no, there was a question there. I missed it. Bacon Jr. Great name, by the way. Bacon Jr. is a fantastic name. Said, will there be a Quiet Place 3? And I can answer this without giving any spoilers. There could or there could not be. And that's just the truth.
I'm only basing it on what Emily Blunt said. She literally came out and said this was a second movie in a trilogy.
Well, there you go. So yeah, and like I said, I saw when I saw the ending. A lot of people say it ends abruptly. I thought it ended on just the perfect point. I actually really liked where it ended, and even like the Rotten Tomatoes reviews we'll see. There's the only complaint that people have is that the movie feels like it's a part of what would be a whole movie because they end it too quick. Yeah. I thought they nailed the ending. Like they left you right off on that perfect piece. There wasn't. For the story they were telling, they told you what happened. You know what I mean? They fixed the shit. But I love where the story went. I really love how they kept John Krasinski's character alive in spirit, and they didn't have to use flashbacks. Now, obviously, they did the first scene where he was in the movie, and he was great in that scene, by the way. and we'll have to talk more about that. But I like the way that they would speak about him when they would be like, you knew him, you knew what he would do, this is what he would do, so this is what we have to do. And the emotion with which they delivered that, because you're watching a family who just lost their dad or their husband, and this takes place right after it. So you're watching them going through the grieving process, but there's no time to sit around and cry. You know what I mean? Because these fucking things are still coming. And watch them navigate that was cool. And I thought that they gave Emily Blunt. They could have easily just made this Cillian Murphy's movie and forgotten about one of the best parts about it because of his whole story. But what she was dealing with, where they told, like, sometimes these movies, sequels, they'll be like, okay, we're going to take heroes on their own journey. This person's going to go here. This person's going to go there. And, like, you lose the cohesiveness of it. They do that, but they still make it work. Like, I feel like all three stories that were going on at once really worked together well.
Yeah. Iron Wolf was asking, the creature design didn't change. I mean, it's pretty much the same way the creatures looked in the first one. So that they didn't do any massive overhaul with that. It's not like they spawned... Maybe, but it's still overall the same design. And then somebody asked, JT asked if you could eat while watching this. Yeah, it's not like got any super gory, gross out scenes. There are a couple of jump scares, make your pee-pee come out a little bit, but not too much. I mean, there was one where I think they overused it, specifically the train scene. I rolled my eyes a couple of times. It's like, I don't mind like scares. I don't fucking like them because they piss me off after they initially scare poop out of me. Yeah. But if they're overused, I think it's lazy. And I just think it's a quick way to get it did happen once, and I was like, all right, come on, man. Like, I mean, a fucking toolbox falling down, and it's a goddamn quiet movie. I get it, but I didn't like that shit. So I got mad at it, and I kind of screamed at John Krasinski in my head. I'm like, dude, I'm rooting for you, and now I'm taking it back some points. But dude, I liked it a lot. Somebody just, who I don't know, somebody asked about how it stacks up in our opinions on other sequels that have come out before on horror. I think it stacks up pretty well. I think that you could compare it to, if you looked at, even though it's different, it's not a continuation necessarily of the same movie, but if you look at Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and Nightmare on Elm Street 2, they're both powerful films. They both stack up really well to each other. I think Nightmare 1 is, for a lot of people, still the OG, and people love that better. Nightmare 2 being a completely different movie in a lot of people's eyes, but still as good, and it's considered a sequel. I feel like that's the same thing with this. I still think Nightmare on Elm Street 1 is better, but Nightmare 2 is really good as well. I think that in this case, for me, A Quiet Place 1 is really good, and I agree with Krasinski in a lot of ways that if you'd stopped right there, you probably would have had forever legendary status on your hands. But you want to do the trilogy, possibly, that's fine. The sequel's not bad, though. And I'm glad they brought him back. If Krasinski hadn't been a part of it or hadn't wrote it or anything like that, I think you've got a problem. Then you're probably going to have those quick fucking Independence Day monsters. They're going to cash in really quick.
Well, it feels like a continuation of the first film. Yeah,
well, that's what I mean. This one is different from that. Yeah.
Yeah, like it feels like literally you're in this exact same world. The colors are the same. Everything's the same. Not in a bad way though, because they do a good job telling a new story, and they have you're still in the same world, and they didn't like veer off of that or try to do anything crazy. But now they have a new. Because if you remember, when Quiet Place ends, they figured out how to stop him. They figured out the sound thing. But they're still, okay, we can kill them, but they're still around everywhere. And all we have is this little speaker and her little ear thing, which, by the way, is the only fucking ear thing we have. And we can only stop them by stopping them and then shooting them. So, like, one by one, it's kind of hard to stop the whole invasion, especially when most people are dead. In this one, they take a step towards trying to stop the invasion, and they don't get all the way there with the story, but they do enough to make it really interesting. I thought that... the opening sequence, going back to that really quick, what I really loved about John Krasinski in the short amount of time he was in the film was that he was scared. Like, he was scared shitless. When these things first attack and they're at the baseball game, and some of the scenes you saw before, but when it's initially happening, you know that scene in World War Z where Brad Pitt, is the best scene in the movie, I thought, when they just show up, Brad Pitt's in traffic with his family, and then it's just like, oh, fuck. Like, I wasn't prepared for this. The news didn't tell us this was going to happen. I'm in the middle of traffic and zombies are fucking hoarding everywhere. And how do I get out of this exact moment? And that to me adds a whole nother level of suspense, because there was no preparing. We don't know anything about it. We're in fucktown, party of one, and the party is you. But watching Krasinski maneuver that, he didn't try to Schwarzenegger it. You know what I mean? Like, he was scared. When he's trying to start the car, you could see he looks like a dad who's got his kid there, and he's fucking freaking out because aliens are jumping around. I thought that was super intense and really well done. They
intermingled action scenes and thriller elements with horror style seasoned on top of it really well. I think overall it's a solid film. I gave it an 8.0. And I mean, if you liked A Quiet Place, you'll like this one. If you just like horror or thrillers in general, you'll like it. Even if you didn't, well, you'll have to watch the first one. I mean, you got to go back and do your homework a little bit, but you could still go in and have a good time. Yeah, I would recommend it, and I'm glad that I'm glad I got to watch it in the movie theater. I'm not saying that it would have been any less as effective if I had watched it on streaming, because it was still a solid movie either way. But it was nice to watch it in the theater again. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna do a trilogy just the way that this ends. I feel like because the way the first one ended, they could have ended it there, and it would have made sense. Because then you could have just assumed they could have let it be very. We don't know what happened, but we know that we have a weapon to fight back against them, and you would assume that they go out and they get other people to help them, whatever. But they didn't want. They wanted to continue the story into this, so now they're gonna have to finish the story up, and that's cool, man. I hope they do. But it's definitely it's a horror classic. I mean, but it's hard to even put it in horror, because it's almost just like a drama thriller in a lot of ways more than, and horror is just more of a background element to it.
Feels kind of like I Am Legend in that way, you know, like it's just it's almost so action packed. It's hard to put it in horror. And talking about the aliens really quick, you don't really learn much new at all about them. I think if they went beyond a third movie, if they get out of this situation, they do what they were trying to do in this movie, and they get out of a third movie, it would be really interesting to see, like, what if they stop all these things, and then they come down, and what if do they bring a second wave of something else? What if at the end of the third movie, all of a sudden these things start to adapt finally to our atmosphere, and they fucking start to see. Like,
I thought you were gonna say they start to get jobs. Like, they start to become a regular part of society, and like Ted down the street is gonna get divorced from his alien wife.
Or you could go the Resident Evil route and have like the fucking captain guy come down. I'm getting crazy off into way other territory. They don't really expand on that. They just show a little bit about how they got here. They don't teach you anything about them. The only problem I have, dude, with both of these movies, talking about the horror aspect, is you never really see what they do. Like, all they do, and it's scary, they're fucking freaky because it's loud, and that being in the theater probably helps with that too, because when they pop out, it's fucking but the only problem I have with the aliens, I thought they looked a little better in this one because they didn't have to show them so up close. In the first one, they literally got inside of their fucking ear hole. This one, they didn't have to do that. But
they've been using Q-tips because that shit clean.
Yeah, it was. But when they run around, they always do the exact same thing. They run up to a crowd of people, they bitch smack people, and they bitch smack, and they bitch smack. And at first, it's like, oh, fuck. What else is coming? But it's literally like their only move they have. They're like a boxer with a really good right hook, and they just run around bitch smacking people. You never see what they do to the bodies afterwards. Do they go back and make sure they're dead? Do they eat them or anything?
No, I think that they literally just, they're like I like how I always imagine them. First off, their body weight is probably unbelievably, massive, and then their claws are beyond shoot. I mean, if they swipe you, you're fucking dead. I mean, they'll probably cut through your sternum, your lungs, your heart with one swipe. I think what they're here for is they're literally here like and I don't want to use this reference because it's not like this, but I'm just saying, like, in Independence Day, those aliens' motivation for getting here, they're like locusts, is the way that Bill Pullman described them. They go into an area, they suck up all the resources, and they kill everything around, and then they leave. But it also, if you want to get crazy with it, maybe another alien species dropped these motherfuckers on a backworld planet like Earth and said, fuck it, because they were like ravaging them at home, and they found a way to gather them all up and throw them onto the earth.
That's a really smart idea, dude. Because
I'd rather just keep it vague, like a fucking asteroid carrying these goddamn cockroaches come out of the sky and just randomly hit our Earth.
Yeah, it's good to keep it vague for now. If you do 3 movies, I think you can keep it vague. I think you might be right. If you want to go further, you're going to have to start reaching into that. What are these things?
I hope they're going to have to bring in John Goodman from Arachnophobia to get rid of them.
But yeah, dude, I give it an 8.5, just a little bit higher than you. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, once you got through that initial lull after the crazy opening sequences, I thought it was planned out really well. It's a very like tightly wrapped up movie though. Like, there's not a whole lot to it. Like, it's very, very simple.
Very suspenseful.
Yeah, they're focused on the characters, and they have one little mission, and they've got to do it, and they draw that out, and the emotions there between the siblings. That one fucking kid was getting on my goddamn nerves, though, dude.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what.
Stop screaming!
I'll tell you what. I'd smack that kid in the face. I don't even care if I'm an adult. There's no more
in his mouth.
There's no more rule of law. There's no more cops left. Fuck you. I'm gonna suck you in the mouth. You'll shut your fucking mouth. Anyway, no. There was one thing specific though. I thought they were gonna go super fucking twisted and dark, dude. I'm like, You're at a
Oh,
crossroads,
that's
Krasinski. You're at a crossroads. Right now,
Oh.
it's choose your own adventure. Do you continue on to the light side of the Jedi, or do you find and join Darth Sidious into the dark side? Because if they had gone a particular way with the little kid and the baby, I'm like, see, I could see it. I could have seen. I was like, dude, they could do it, and if they do it, it's gonna be fucking. That would be a huge M. Night Shyamalan fucking twist, and you like, because then that would change the tone.
That's why I think that exactly is why. Which I shouldn't say this because I'm not going to say what I was going to say because it would actually give away what happens. But I think that the Game of Thrones, the first movie, a little bit. Okay, like in Game of Thrones, season 1, you kill off the main character when the little kid dies. And when Krasinski dies, it tells you that no one is safe. So whenever these characters are in peril, you have to genuinely believe they might die. And it amps up the scares. And the fact that
I might not have been. I actually might have been okay with it. No, I'm just saying because I mean it would have been not because I'm into I'm not because I'd want that shit to happen for real, but I'm saying as far as a twist fucking ending that you never saw coming, that completely changes everything, and you're like, oh. Like you're like one of those like I think that would have been an eye-popping moment and that would have been people would be like, man, you got to go see this movie just for that one fucking scene. It might have lived up. I'm just saying I think if you built that up right, it could have been just as like fuck as Sixth Sense when it was revealed that that he was dead the entire time.
Yeah, they had a chance to really do some fucked up shit. Who knows? Maybe the third one they do. Maybe there's one more sacrifice.
I think he proved himself. But I mean, I just said, man, I had I had a weird feeling when I was watching. I'm like, it's like kind of when you fart, you think that you pooped your pants. I had one of those kind of feelings. Like I know it's wet down there, but I'm not gonna really pay attention to it because I don't want to believe it's true. But yeah, dude, I thought it was gonna happen, and we were gonna have a totally different conversation about this film. But yeah, it was still solid.
And the last thing I'll say about it, you already touched on it. I just want to put out there that the acting's amazing in the movie. For one, Millicent Simmons, the deaf girl in the movie. For one, her being deaf adds a really cool thing because there's a couple sequences when they're around her and she can't hear it. She doesn't know it. You know what I mean? And then the movie puts you in that where you can't hear anything. And it's really fucking freaky. But she, as an emotional actress, she killed it. She fucking crushed it.
Which one?
The daughter, the main daughter.
Do you know? Oh, yeah. That girl is great. That girl actually is deaf in real life.
I know. Yeah. And not just that, but like I said, like you already said it, but Cillian Murphy once again shows why the fuck isn't Cillian Murphy in bigger stuff? I mean, this is pretty big, but killed it in Sunshine, killed it in 28 Days Later. I haven't watched Peaky Blinders, but everybody likes that. Killed it in Batman Begins, and I won't say The Dark Knight because that was kind of weird how they did him there. But
do you want to see my mask?
Dark Knight's that's not him. That's not Batman.
Cillian Murphy's one of those dudes, man. Like he is such a strong, awesome actor, but I feel like he's got the same kind of thing, hang-ups. Not it's a bad thing, but he picks and chooses what he really wants to be in. Like he's an artiste, like Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling only wants to be in certain flicks that it really appeals to him, and that's why he does a lot of indie movies. I feel like Cillian Murphy's the same kind of guy, even though he's been in giant movies, of course, but maybe him and Krasinski are good friends, or this was right up his alley. Like he liked the survival idea behind this whole thing where it really wasn't necessarily like what you'd seen before. It was actually more focused on the human interaction and how to survive versus just the obvious horror that's going on around you. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's great, man. But I did see the casting, the audition tape for when he auditioned for Batman. Fucking terrible. Dude, he would never have fit that role. He was so creepy when he was like there because it was just him playing Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And he was like, what do you mean? Like it was like he was like fucking Norman Bates. Like it was scary. It wasn't fucking like
he talked about that recently in an interview for this, and he was like, by the way, I think that whole thing's overblown. He's like, I don't think I ever actually had a chance to be Batman. He's like, we did the test, yeah. He was like, by the way, watching it once was enough for me. He was like, but I don't think I was at that caliber yet.
Well, I know that Nolan wanted him really bad, but maybe I don't know what Nolan saw because maybe Nolan wanted to make a really dark, creepy ass Batman because I mean he had it in spades because he had just had that one scene. It was like he was turning around, was like, I'll save Gotham. And then I want to see what your insides taste like. Like it was kind of like he had that fucking weird ass fucking attitude about him.
Yeah. Jimon Hunsao, by the way, once again, amazing in his role. Shows up about the middle of the movie. Not in the movie very long, but crushes it. And I wish that he was in the movie more for sure.
I love that guy. That guy's great.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, man, 8.5 for me. Either at least up there with the first one, maybe even better for me a little bit. And I think that and this is coming from a guy who said they don't need to do a sequel at all. I think they did an amazing job with it. I'm really glad that I was wrong about that. And go fucking see it. You'll want to.
And again, I mean, this is on Emily Blunt, and she's the one putting Krasinski's wiener in her. She's the one that said 3 movies. That's what she said. And by the way, that guy don't go read the article from the New Yorker, because that guy is a total douchebag. Because you know what he was telling you? He was trying to make this what he wanted Krasinski to do, and what he was trying to say basically I read the whole fucking article, and it was like too long because this guy just loved to hear himself talk. He basically was saying there wasn't enough socioeconomic political discussion or conversation going on, and that Krasinski missed the part. He missed the moment that he could have changed this. I was like, maybe the motherfucker wanted to make a good, solid horror movie and not bring any kind of political bullshit into his movie.
It's about family, and it's about helping your fellow man, and whether you choose to or not.
This was based on race politics is what he was going for. He was trying to bring this down into that level. And I was like, dude, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're not even watching the goddamn movie. And if you are watching it, you're watching it with one eye over your left or right eye, and then you have your other eye firmly on your dick that you're jacking off to your own words. Because there's no way that you watch the same movies I did. The thing about those socioeconomic or those socio-political commentaries that they like to throw into movies, and they have that in the background the entire time as dressing. Why do you think people hate it, or it's so divisive? They don't want to go to the movie theater and see that shit. They just want to go have a good time. We're coming out of a pandemic. Well, we're still technically in one, but people are going back. Why the fuck do they want to be reminded of how shitty life is?
You know what I liked about it? You know what was way more of an impactful social statement than any of the shit that guy wanted him to start a fucking goddamn discourse about? Was the fact that before, I don't know if they did this in your theater, but before the movie, John Krasinski came on just as John Krasinski, and he was like, hey guys, thank you so much for coming out to the theater. We're really pumped that we're back in theaters. This is awesome. Please enjoy my movie. The fact that this movie brought us all back to a theater after a year of after the election and goddamn COVID and after all this shit like that, we get to go back in the movie, sit down, eat some popcorn, and watch a good fucking movie about that's about family, and it's about real shit. It's not just Michael Bay shit. But that's way better for all of our psyches and all of our emotions than trying to fucking slam on some fucking Twitter shit on it.
That is why I'm so happy when I saw the trailer for fucking Top Gun Maverick. I cannot wait to watch Top Gun Maverick, and I hope they keep politics out of that fucking movie. I just want to go back to playing with the boys with Kenny Loggins, okay? And I'm not talking about that in a sexual way. If you know the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. I want to play volleyball with a shirtless Val Kilmer, but that's not gay. I like his wiener, but that's not gay, okay? Anyway, point being
cares? Let's do
is
it.
that I want back to those kind of movies. I want that. I want to just go watch a stupid fucking action flick like Top Gun and have a great goddamn time. He's flying F-15s. There's a killer soundtrack. Kenny Loggins is singing his heart out somewhere, and Val Kilmer, God rest his soul, is probably the one that's in that casket.
I hope not. They're doing a documentary about Val Kilmer, by the way. I'm going to watch that shit. They're doing a documentary about the life of Val Kilmer.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. I'm not saying that he's really dead. I'm saying in the movie that Iceman might be dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, just keep that shit out of the movies. Like, especially horror movies. Please don't put that in there. It's everywhere else nowadays.
Well, and don't get me wrong. Like, horror movies they've always been political. But if it's written into the fabric of the film and it's meant to be that way, fine. But don't Black Christmas us. You know, speaking of which, we'll be talking about another Black Christmas in a little bit. Grabbing some super chats here. Mercurio80 says, "Here I am, do rock you like a hurricane." Thanks, buddy. And then Joshua Ayer says, "Just got the new Scream Factory release of Event Horizon. Can't recommend it enough for everyone. The special features are fantastic. Wham love." You should get that shit, dude. That's one of your all-time favorites right there.
What is it now? What is it?
Event Horizon, the collector's
Oh,
edition.
yeah, dude. You know what? I really would love to do that. And also, I would love for them not to be pussies back when that movie came out, because the original version was a lot darker and it's gone. Paul W.S. Anderson, he really fucked up Resident Evil, I'll admit. But Event Horizon was great. And apparently, they had a darker, more edgier version of that flick that they made them cut down and cut out because the test audience said it was, oh my God, it's too graphic. And they were going to put together a special edition unrated Blu-ray and have that come out, or 4K, I guess. And they don't have the footage anymore. Isn't that fucked up? Like, I would love to see that movie unrated. Like, I want to see how dark and scary it could get, because it was already amazing. By the way, somebody said F-14s, Jay. I don't know. I'm not, I'm in the Air Force, not the Naval Air Force. So yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah, okay, the F-14s. I mean, I thought they were F-15s. Those would be the fighter jets.
Yeah, hell, fuck, I have no idea. Pop Culture with Pat, thanks, buddy. Says, what's up, guys? Is there a horror movie in recent memory for you guys that utilizes sound as effectively as A Quiet Place 1 and 2? No. I think actually that's for me, I can't think of a movie that sound is more important to. At least modern wise, for sure.
Yeah, there's one that did a pretty good job with like having no sound and using it effectively as far as like when it happened. The one where he impregnated the girl with a turkey baser.
Oh, Don't Breathe? Yeah, they did.
Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe did a really good job with that. I think Don't Breathe was actually very grandfatherly to this movie because in that one it was very low sound. There was no sound, and then any kind of fucking like creak of the floorboard. We're like, what? He's coming at me with the turkey baser with cum in it. What am I supposed to do?
That's a good point. That's one too. I think A Quiet Place does. I think it's more important in A Quiet Place, but I totally forgot about that one. So that's two in recent. Memory.
Because he was blind in that one.
Well, yeah. Well, they did it also. They did it a little bit with Hush, right? Because I think the
Hush
girl,
was a good one. Yeah.
Was she deaf in that one, or was she blind?
She was deaf.
Okay, so they did a little bit there, but not to this extent, especially since that one was straight to Netflix. I think. Good question, Pop.
Nick Cantelli says Jay has that stoner hippie room. I want to smoke it out. Come on over, man. Bring that weed with you.
Need to get you some.
Bring that giggle bush over here. Bring that giggle bush. When you find out in my refrigerator there's leftover lasagna, you're gonna look like that meme. You're gonna go.
Anthony Stant says, fell asleep last night watching Wham and had a horrible nightmare being stalked in my house by a dark figure and woke up to your Slender Man Subway sandwich video.
That was your bad dream. All you thought, have some Subway sandwich. What you made, babe?
He woke up to it. He had a dream that he was being stalked by a dark figure and then woke up to your Subway sandwich video.
There you go. Okay, so the spirit of our endorsement got there. We should be hired by Subway. We've said this before.
Here to make you feel better.
If you want to come over and have yourself Subway sandwich, go ahead and have yourself Subway sandwich.
It was Jimmy John's that was in your dream. It was the evil Jimmy John's.
Yeah, Jimmy John's is the devil. He will stalk you and find ways into your dreams and make them nightmares and say, have me Italian sib. By the way, me didn't wash these meatballs. Enjoy them. So nasty.
We did watch these meatballs. Senor Cod Gamers says, you fuckers gonna be at Scarefest this year? That remains to be seen,
That's
sir.
the big question of the hour.
We're waiting on an email back from someone about something that's very pertinent to whether or not we are there. I'm pretty confident that we will be, but before we could say 1,000%, we really need to find something out. But we'll definitely let you guys know as soon as we do. Hopefully they'll
JT Custom says that he probably Jared. Yeah, you don't want to roll. I'm glad that you didn't roll over. Did you have boxer shorts on? Because if they were sliding down, he'll get you.
Gary Catlow says the third movie should have been Samuel L. Jackson shouting, "That's it! I've had it with these motherfucking aliens on this motherfucking planet." And then someone shouts, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot!"
And be like Chris Rock. Chris Rock, like, shut the fuck up. Taste the book of flavor. Actually, Samuel L. Jackson would be funny in anything. He could just yell at the survivors like, "Shut up, motherfucker! Shit! You trying to get us killed?"
And then he gets eaten like the shark does in Deep Blue Sea.
That scene right there, yeah, Deep. I fucking hated that shit because I love Sam Jackson. When he died early off, I was like, "What the fuck?"
So real quick, before we do our first break of the night, let's talk about It's Me, Billy. And then on the other half, we'll get into all the news and stuff like that.
It's me, Jay.
It's me, Mike.
It's like that thing from Avengers Infinity War. He was like, "I am Groot." He goes, "I am Steve Rogers."
Yeah. It's Me, Billy. Dave McRae's Black Christmas fan film just came out on YouTube today. We both watched it this afternoon, and hey, man, that's some top quality
solid
shit
stuff, man.
Going on there.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I think we had Dave on here talking about it before it was released, and I admitted to him, I was like, man, I gotta be honest, I never was a huge fan of Black Christmas 1974. It just wasn't me. I appreciated what they had and that it was influential to Halloween when it came out for sure, and they did use the camera tricks that they perfected or that they had started in Black Christmas. But saying that and going forward, watching It's Me, Billy, for a 43-minute movie and the fact that it's a fan film, it really didn't feel like a fan film. It actually felt like an actual honest to God theatrical movie. And it had good dialogue. It had good sets. It had good suspense. It had good atmosphere. And you know, overall, I'm just gonna be honest. I know that Dave was doing the voice. I just wanted me to have sex with him more. I wanted to rip his Canadian bacon right off of his torso.
sorry about that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were about this.
Take me to Tim Hortons later. But no, seriously, the voice, man. The voice. Dave does the voice himself, and it is top level quality shit. I mean, there is multiple channels of that voice coming at you at one time, and it's like, I wanna eat chocolate. I wanna go to the store. It's coming at you from all angles, man. And he did such a good job with it.
But you did, yeah. But you're like, ours would not be like, oh, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? Like, listen, Dave does a phenomenal. He really. I mean, it's hard to. You can't really state how well he does it. Like, you have to go watch it for yourself. And luckily, it's free and available on YouTube for you guys to watch and check out. And again, even for a fan that's not, or for a person that doesn't even know what Black Christmas 1974 or 1974 is, or that god awful fucking abortion that was the remake that came out just recently, you can go watch this and have a good time with it. It's one of those films that's easy to understand and easy to digest, and it's an easy watch. And there are some genuine good scares in it. I got to be honest, and I'm glad that they didn't have like those obvious, like, oh, I hear it comes, I see it come, there it is. It wasn't like that. They set it up real nicely, and they wait between breaths before they get you, and that's when you really are effective. And I did curse out Dave when he did that, because we had talked to Dave before in an interview. I'm like, Dave, you could have at least told us where those fucking scenes were, so I could have had to not change my underwear.
Yeah, dude,
selfish.
It's one of the right up there with Never Hike in the Snow, Never Hike Alone, as far as quality goes, as far as filmmaking goes. The camera shots, it's beautiful. You can tell they put every penny of the Indiegogo that they had into this thing, and they did it right, and they did it justice, and it looks professional as hell.
I heard Dave had to sell his stock in maple syrup just to pay for this.
I hooked on the streets for him for a couple weeks. I went out there and sucked some dick. But it looks expensive. It looks well done. And here's the best part, and you know, I'll say it. There are certain things I would have done differently. Sure, there are certain ideas that I would have done differently. For sure. But that being said, I like the original Black Christmas movie, and seeing the Black Christmas remake that they did was such an abomination. It was such an embarrassment. The bait and switch that they pulled when they were like, we're gonna give you Black Christmas, and they were like, actually, this is just the teen that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about going, feminism.
I do know that.
It didn't even land. Like, the feminism didn't even land. It was stupid. But anyways, that being aside, the fact that you have this whole studio and you have this whole big working thing behind a movie like that, and they can miss the mark so fucking badly. And then you've got Dave and his crew also that go in here and they do a fan film, and they give the entire Black Christmas, because there's a bunch of hardcore Black Christmas fans. Almost every single person walked away from their short film feeling amazing about it and going, that's what I fucking wanted. Even if it wasn't exactly what they wanted with this character, that character, whatever, but they walked away going, that was a sequel to Black Christmas. That was actually in the vein of the original movie, which the remake, backed by Blumhouse and everybody else, fucking wasn't. It's amazing to me that, and they fucking nailed it.
Well, I was getting a little sample of the Facebook juice that was going on with the comments, and everybody was just nutting all over this film and saying how great it was. So that's awesome news, and that's who you want to impress anyway. The remake, again, I chose to avoid that feminism cock. I saw it on the exit and I said no thank you, and I swerved and I hit a bunny, because I'd rather hit a bunny than fucking watch that movie, and I would.
By the way, feminism cock is a good band name.
Huh?
Feminism cock is a really good band name.
Yeah, well, that feminism, that's exactly that's something that shit was would be led by like Demi Moore and Sinead O'Connor and Alanis Morissette, and they would all like three line it. But no, it was I could see the trailer and it made my stomach hurt. Like, I don't know, it dried up my sperm when I watched that trailer. Like, that's what it is. It's like, I'm a female and suck my cock because you're a male and you're below me. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's how you win them over. Good job there, Sister Christian. But Dave goes the opposite way, and you know what? They just wanted to make a great horror movie, and they wanted to make a great follow-up to the 1974 Black Christmas for all the fans that love that movie, as well as bring in new people that may have never heard of it before. And on that front, they did great. They left the bullshit politics out of it, and for that reason, it's awesome. And even if it had been shit, if it had been a turd in the toilet, I would have given it a higher score than that piece of shit that I didn't even watch. It was so bad I didn't even watch it. But
yeah, but
yeah, congratulations, Dave, man. You guys and your team, you deserve all the accolades and praise that you're getting.
Yeah, apparently, by the way, sorry, I was sidetracked I was looking at the chat there, and apparently a bunch of people are disliking this video right now, which, okay.
That's great.
Neat.
Oh, well, we do have 282, hey, yeah, let's go ahead. I fucking dislike it. I mean, what the fuck is going on?
Hey, I could take a shit in the box and market guaranteed if you want. I've got spare time. But no, look, I mean, the fact of the matter is it felt like a slasher sequel to the original film. And the quality was there to make you believe it was, and that the actresses were awesome in it. They did a great job. A couple twists and turns in a little 43-minute film here. You got almost everything that you want in a Black Christmas fan film. So we absolutely loved it. We absolutely recommend it, and I'm really proud of Dave and the whole crew for putting together something special.
Plus, I think we're friends enough with Dave. If we thought it really just took a giant dump in the mouths of other people and it just smelled like a straight fart that someone crop dusted you in Kroger,
I just wouldn't.
We would have said it. I'd be like, hey, I'm not gonna review it. We're not gonna talk about it. And then we'd see Dave like, hey man, we were gonna review your movie, but it fucking sucked. We said probably just tell that off camera. Like, oh, we just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry, man. But no, it was great. And honestly, just as a casual viewer, something across it, I think you'll like it. I think anybody that likes horror will really enjoy it. So
yeah, absolutely. Great job, Dave. Hey,
Dave McCrae. All things Dave McCrae.
Yeah, seriously, Black Christmas fans, check it out. You guys will love it, and horror fans as well, for sure, man. A top notch, top marks all the way around from us. No doubt
JT
about
Cousins
it.
says, hey, Mike and Jay, how would you rank this in the Black Christmas franchise? I mean, I'd put it right after the 1974 film because wasn't there only like three? There was the original one, the remake, and then there was another one.
There was the cookie skin one, the one where they made cookies out of skin.
Yeah. I'd put this one. Yeah, I'd put this one second.
Yeah, I'd probably put this one second. And a lot of people, I think the coolest thing that they can the coolest compliment they can get is that a lot of people in the comments were like, "This is the sequel to me. Fuck the other two. It's Black Christmas and then this." And you're talking about a fan film. They did that. That's cool.
And Dave's living the life, man. If Mike and I ever got the opportunity or the chance or the funding or whatever to make a Halloween movie of our own, like a serious, honest to God fan film. But we'd run it. We'd have a ball with that. But yeah, man, that's awesome because that's like I guess that's like one of Dave's favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, dude. It's inspiring to see people do that. I've never actually had an inkling or a desire to actually go and do that because the movie magic part is something I always want to be magic to me. I don't want to actually put my hands in that, at least up to this point. But like I said, I've never had the desire to do it. But if I had, I would look to this kind of thing and be like, I'm inspired by that. So
apparently we're being invaded by the cockless ones. We're at 15 dislikes. That's awesome. I mean, did the fucking wall come down in the north in Game of Thrones and all the ones without wieners or sex lives come over the wall for the first time?
Hey,
what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get some money and we're gonna get plane tickets and we're gonna find every one of you motherfuckers to show up at your door, Jay and Silent Bob style, and we're gonna beat that ass.
That reminds me of that Stroke 9
you talk
song.
Shit on us on poopshoot.com.
How many people want to kick some ass?
That's the song, and we'll go to jail gladly, bitch.
It's a great song. That's a great song. Don't worry about it, guys. It doesn't matter. The dislikes don't mean shit. Like whatever. You know, hey.
No, I was doing it for comedic effect. But
no, I know you were. I was talking to, but like, yeah. It provokes an opinion. It provokes a feeling, and if you fucking hate us, that's
let
cool.
them talk. Let them fight. You try to drown my words with booze and thumbstone. I will speak louder from a higher cliff. Promise you will heal my words thunder with Olympia.
Joe Baderos says, I really enjoyed Dave's Halloween fan films. They're awesome. Can't wait to see this. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, man. I think they did it. They did it up real nice on this. This shit was fancy as fuck. D Mitch A14 says, yo boys, Jay gave us a Dr. Loomis pep talk speech for his team at halftime for the Super Bowl with his team being down 14 points.
That's easy. You guys fucking suck. I should have got better players, but unfortunately the athletic director spent all his money on hookers, whores, and alcohol. So I got you, bunch of idiots. Okay? Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna go out there and you're going to body slam them, fart in the mouth, vomit on the floor, whatever it takes, and we're going to get the 14 points. If I got to steal them, we're going to steal them. I don't care. You got a gun? Shoot them in the kneecap before they get to the end zone. That's how you win, gentlemen.
Last Boy Scout.
The last Boy Scout, Damon Wayans, Bruce Willis. He knew how to win. Shut up. Get out there. Be like Eli Manning. Be stupid but fun. That's it. That would literally be the pep talk.
Hey,
And actually, I don't even know how much you would get one. He would just be drunk. You're like, go get him, you assholes. I hate this job. It's, you know that scene of Tom Hanks when he walks up in a League of My Own and he's like waving his hat to the crowd. He's like, that's right. Kiss my big white hairy ass. That's right. Like under his breath. He doesn't give a shit.
No. Will Arnwine says, haha, I was with a hooker today. Oh, he said wasn't with a hooker today. That can get confusing if you read that the wrong way.
That reminded me of that Jay and yeah, I think he's talking about Jay and Silent Bob. That was when Ben Affleck was like, haha, I wasn't even with a hooker today.
That's right. Mercurio80 says, hey, I still love you guys. I'm ride or die for life. Hey, man, appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about fuck people clicking buttons.
I don't even know until later on. I'm like, shit, man, we must have really fucking fucked up.
Jay and I look at each other like, what'd you do? What'd you do?
Like, it was probably your fucking tardiness, you asshole.
I gotta take a pee. Perfect time for a break. We knocked out both reviews. Gonna do it. When we come back, we're gonna talk about Joker 2. We're gonna talk.
What?
Yes, it's possibly happening for sure.
What happened?
Actually, I think it's actually an official, sort of official. Oh. We're gonna talk Joker 2. I got an interesting Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends question to ask you guys, and something else. There's something else in there, and whatever.
You gotta flesh it out.
Flush it out. Whatever the hell else you guys want to talk about. We love your butts. Cool, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Okay. Enjoy this video that we just put out today about Evil Dead. It's a good time in your panty britches.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun commentary.
I fucking loved it. And I love you.
We're getting a divorce.
We're still live. Shit.
I know. That's what I said. We're getting a divorce so people know I'm public.
Here we go. And we are...
Woo.
Play it. Play the goddamn video.
Why aren't you
playing the video? There it goes.
Woo.
I'm gonna make you eat corn.
This is what has to happen if you get initiated into the Patreon. You get a sack over your head, you're led in somewhere creepy, and there's dead cats hanging up. And you got an old lady, the lunch lady, and she opens a book, and then you get initiated.
But then afterwards, we take you to Taco Bell, so it's all worth it. Dad?
I never wanted you. I'm not
Dad.
your
That's
father.
Right. It is Dad. That guy's like, huh?
That fucking guy looks like an IBM specialist. He's way over his head. Whoa!
Oh, shit. I really mean this.
Whoa. This is what happens when kids play Fortnite.
I'm feeling a little bit crispy. Damn.
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah, that is a solid opening. I do like that opening a lot.
This seems normal.
This is A-okay.
Meow 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 meow.
This bitch turned into Nell. Take me away with the wind and let me fly away.
Stop reading.
Why you gotta say it out loud? Yeah, there you go.
To stop.
These are like the motherfuckers that ate Tide Pods when it clearly says don't eat the Tide Pods, and they still ate it.
Hey, put your mask on.
Oh! How come you caught him but not me? Oh shit, she got herpes of the mouth.
Oh, this is the puke scene, dude. Ah!
La 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 la.
Oh, Jesus, Sonny D. Fuckville. V8 Fruit Splash.
Lock it, pussy. There you go. God, can this motherfucker go back to the hippie commune anytime soon?
I'm covered in goo. What if she just farted right now?
What are you doing in there?
This.
I'm kicking
is...
my own ass. Do you mind?
Oh God damn! I can see her molars.
A skin slip. Oh, pull it back.
You better fucking rise your broke ass up and run. No, whoa.
In the oh.
Oh fuck. Yeah, dude, Batista her ass. Jesus Christ. Oh fuck, dude, please don't. Just don't. Go to the doctor.
Is it my fucking?
Oh!
Goddamn termites!
She's gonna eat your butt. You better go. She's
Go,
gonna
go,
eat your
gadget
butt.
spring shoes. There you go. Oh, you're fucked.
Ah! This is the most confusing boner I've ever had.
I do. That's what I'm saying. I like it, but I don't want to like it. I'm going to hell.
Oh,
That's
don't
Jared
do it
Springer.
with the sticky.
Love,
It's
yeah, yeah,
Ah!
yeah. The sharpest knife available on QVC. I gotta be honest, man. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like Mia more when she's a demon. I think she's hotter. I think it's her eyes. I don't know. I like it. It's exotic.
I like him goth. Jay likes him dead.
She's not dead. She's still alive. She's a demon.
Demons have to be dead, dude.
Yeah,
Oh
just
God!
kiss him.
Crickety crackety peanut buttery shickle.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say it might be infected. Like I'm not a doctor, but I think it might be infected.
thing I've ever seen.
I don't know why. It
Oh no, we don't burn angels on the fire.
Here I go.
What do you mean guac is extra?
Let's get busy. Oh. Did you hear the demon go, oh. Oh. I have no arms. What can I do now? I guess I'll nibble you into death. Oh, here's a nice bubbling hot water. Let me put my fucking face near it. Nothing weird will happen. Hey, fuck, how did you do that? The flashlighter! Hit her with the flashlight! Oh shit, fucking wood. Hit her with the fucking flashlight! You're still holding on to it. That thing has got to weigh like fucking 10 pounds.
Yeah, she's about to open them fucking eyes too.
I know.
I got the potatoes.
That's when you try to sneak in after you've been out too late with your friends and your girlfriend had her eyes open the entire time.
No,
Shop
I'm
smart! Shop S-smart, bitch!
in your mom tonight.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me Reba McEntire!
Ooh, yeah. This girl is on fire. This is fuck shit.
Gotcha!
Hey, Blair Witch.
Blind.
Josh! Josh! Where are you?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
she's not going to
Dublin.
check her in the car.
I see that your oil filter is very dirty.
Oh.
Would you like to replace that for $69.95?
Use the force, Luke! Make it come into your hand.
You're gonna die here, you pathetic junkie!
Well,
Shut
fuck
up!
you!
Enough of this shit.
There you go.
Oh!
Hey!
Here comes up!
Ah!
You passed out!
Get it!
You
Pull
passed
it!
out!
Pull it! God damn it! Make it happen! Oh, god damn, you did it! Wow, I don't want to look at it, but you did it!
No!
I will feast on your soul.
You'll feast on this dick!
Oh, I'm gonna put that dookie.
Take.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm back in the saddle again.
Dude, by the way, I've been watching recently. There's this guy. I didn't even know they were still doing this, but he's playing Halo. He's like, this is what it looks like when you haven't stopped playing Halo 3 since 2007. And his channel's name's The Fat Rat. He's only got like 35,000 subscribers and things like that. So he's kind of, I don't know when he started uploading, but dude, his shit is on fucking point. Like he is sniping and whooping these kids' asses. He's getting the untouchables, the overkills, the kill-tacular, kill us.
Because he's still playing the old game. that nobody's
Kilimanjaro. Yeah, all Halo 3.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
dude, he is fucking raping that shit. Like, he is fisting over again. And like, dude, I looked through the comments and they're the best, dude. The comments are like, I'm calling the police. Because he is fucking murdering. And it makes me want to play so bad. And then I'm like, dude, we used to have decent talent, but I'm afraid to get back in that bitch now.
We used to crush on Halo 3. I got up to 49. Top you get was 50.
Halo 3, but then we really got really good on Halo Reach, because Halo Reach came out. We played that from day one.
Yeah.
We played the demo and then we played it all the way through for like the first year and a half.
I miss Halo, dude. I really do. Those were fun times. Marco V. Villatoro, just before we went to break, said, just wanted to say, glad I could end my birthday here with you guys as the cherry on top to this day. Laughing. Couldn't be any better. Thank you guys. Marco!
Hey, man. Marco,
it's your birthday, dude.
Happy fucking birthday.
Awesome fucking guy.
Now you become man. We take you in the back room, we give you quick little spankings, some chocolates, and then introduce you to the secret club.
Why was I thinking the same thing? I was thinking feed him chocolates and then spank his ass.
I don't know.
For
That's
every
why
year.
because that's our Valentine's Day gift to our significant others every year.
This is what you see on your birthday. One hand feeding you chocolates, the other smacking
I
you
was
in the
actually
ass.
thinking of the
Catching chocolates like a dog. Oh.
I was thinking of the Joe Pesci thing in Goodfellas. He's like, hey, I'm gonna get made today, fellas.
Oh yeah. Remember when Chrissy got made on Sopranos and he thought he was gonna get whacked? That was a good episode.
Oh yeah. Well, I also remember that scene when his chick gets driven. They're driving her out into the middle of nowhere to shoot her.
Oh yeah.
That was fucked up. That dude, Sopranos, man. Come on.
a great
Woo-wee.
show.
Are you guys excited for that fucking prequel? Because me is.
I am. I just hope that they don't. I hope it still has the same meanness and everything to it. Because these days it would be hard to put out a Sopranos today. It'll be interesting to see for sure.
Shoo-wee.
Gary Catlow says, and thank you guys for these super chats. I really do appreciate them. Gary Catlow says, I noticed Happy Death Day was like Groundhog's Day. Freaky was like Freaky Friday. What's next? A horror version of Liar Liar?
I'll watch it.
I'd be into that. You put Jim Carrey in that bitch.
Dude, what if they do a horror movie that if you lie and you don't tell the truth, that the person that you're lying to dies in a horrific way?
Ooh, I like it. Call us, Blumhouse. You
Flip that
cowards.
shit on its head. I feel like it would be more of a creep show kind of story. Like it would only be 30 minutes, but either way.
I would watch that.
You could even get Jim Carrey to do that, like make him all fucking insane, like in number 23, and then have him come and do that.
It's probably the kind of script he'd actually be into these days, you know? I love Jim Carrey. I don't care. Say what you want about Jim Carrey, but I love that man.
I just feel like I feel like Jim Carrey is the reason why he is so like anymore is because he's pretty much got more money than God. He's done everything he's wanted to do, and he doesn't care. I mean, at this point, he just like he's literally the dude. Like that's what he is. He's the dude. He doesn't give a shit. He can sit there and spout fucking poetry and philosophy to you with his sandals on and his robe, and he doesn't have to do shit.
Jim Carrey once gave not to go serious, it's not super serious, but he once gave the best piece of advice I've ever heard somebody give in my entire life. And he was talking, I don't know, it was like a commencement speech or something like that, but he was talking to a crowd of people, and he was like, "Look, my dad, he was funny as shit. My dad could have been a comedian, he could have, but he decided to go the safe route. And he decided to work and provide for his family." And I was like, and then he got fired, and then things got really hard. And he was like, what I learned from that lesson was you can fail doing what you don't love. So you might as well try to fail at doing what you do love, in some less words. And I was like, that's maybe the best piece of fucking advice ever given in the world. I wish I heard that when I was like 16, you know? It's awesome.
Well, the best piece of advice I ever got was from my mother.
Don't pee on the electric fence.
She said, children are meant to be seen, not heard. Now shut the fuck up. And then that's how you learn respect.
I could see her saying that.
But no, she did say that, dude. And if you didn't do that, she'd reach behind. Like moms back in, like my mom, she had this uncanny ability, dude. Like if you were sitting behind her in the car and you were driving, and you were just being a smart ass, like a little shit for no reason, she could reach behind her with uncanny accuracy and pinch just the right hunk of chunk meat in your fucking thigh, and you're like, oh, and then you'd cry. Because it would fucking hurt, and she'd be like, "Now I know I upset you, and I know you're crying. Are you sorry?" And I'm like, "Yes, Mom, I'm sorry."
Dude,
and then she'd be like, "Now I'm sorry too, because I didn't want to hurt you. I love you more than anything, but you don't act like that." and what's the worst is the way they say it. It's not the initial pain, because that fucking sucks. It's the way it's like that. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. And you're like, "Fuck, I'm sorry. I'll never do it. I'll never do it again."
The funniest thing I ever saw in my entire life was when Cody got in trouble once. Jay's brother Cody got in trouble once. And I'm walking from Jay's room, and Cody's room's on the other side of the hall. I remember that because when Cody would fall asleep, Jay and I would sneak under his bed, and one of us would go underneath the bed. Like, you'd have to sneak in there like Mission Impossible. You get all the way underneath the bed, and he'd be sleeping and snoring. And the other one would go like take a booger, like put it on his face, and then like at the same time, the one underneath the bed would like fucking hit the bed, and he'd wake up like something hit his bed, and then you'd be like booger, and he'd be like, "God damn it!" But no, I remember one time Cody got in trouble, and my mom I was just walking from your room to going to get some orange juice or something, and I saw in the doorway, my mom had him on the bed, and she was spanking him. And he turned around and was like, "Is that all you got? Is that all you got?"
Yeah,
That
Cody
hurt?
always did that.
That hurt.
He's like-
And then finally she kept going, and he was like, "Ah!" Shit's funny as hell.
Cody was always like, it was weird because I would just fake cry. Like, mom would use a switch, and then I'd be like, oh my god, it hurts, oh my god. And then she'd leave me alone, and I could hear Cody down the hall, like it was like he was being interrogated by like another lieutenant, and he would be like, you know what, that didn't hurt. You know what, that didn't. And mom would be like near the. I lived it, dude. I fucking heard him constantly, and he would do that shit, and it was the funniest thing I ever. Because I didn't even one day I was like, dude, why the fuck do you do that? He's like, because I don't want her to win. I mean, and, you know, like somebody, by the way, guys, these are, you know, that's how I was raised. That's how my brother was raised. That was just a different time. Someone was like, that's abusive. That's not abusive, my man. Okay. I don't know.
About,
I don't know what little cauliflower, you know, flower plant you came off of, but that wasn't my mother. And my father didn't abuse us. It's not abuse.
Oh yeah. No, I got spanked, but it's just
Yeah,
spanked.
it's spanking. It's different. It's not like they took a fucking belt and then beat me in the face with it. And they said, where's my natural light beer, you son of a bitch?
Yeah.
That didn't
Daddy
happen.
a turkey leg. Yeah, no.
Stern talking to doesn't work all the time. And just
No.
because, listen, I want to talk about your feelings and what you think you should do. Do you think that you did wrong? Do you think that you did wrong? Guess what? That's why kids rule you.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's differences. Like, you know, like a 70-ish-year-old woman spanking her kid on the outside of the clothes with their hand is different than fucking The Rock. Or who was it? Adrian Peterson's the guy that allegedly shoved leaves in his kid's mouth while whipping him, like a 285-pound fucking running back. You know, that's different. My dad never spanked me. Well, I take that back. My dad spanked me one time, and it was the most embarrassing, fucking humiliating feeling in my life because I was terrible. My grades all sucked. I had all Fs, and then he decided to have something to do with it. All of a sudden, he was like, "One time this year, you forget your books, you do anything, I'm gonna spank you." I'm like, "Okay, you're gonna spank me." I forgot my fucking social studies book, and
dumb shit.
He's a man of virtue. You gotta give him credit. I came home without my book, and he literally bent me over. Dude, it was the most. I was in sixth fucking grade. He bent me over his knee. He sat in the chair. He was like, "Come here." I lean over his knee, and then he spanked me and he literally said the words, "This hurts me more than it does you."
I've heard that multiple.
I cried, and he didn't even hit me hard. Like, I cried out of sheer embarrassment, right? And just running away because it was just like, this is so uncomfortable. But no, what my dad would do is fucking, I hated it too. Whenever I spoke out of pocket, he would just grab my arm and fucking squeeze it.
I had that happen.
Squeeze my arm and be like, "No, you." And I'm like, "Oh." When I was 16, I wanted to take these two girls to the mall. They were really hot. Me and Chris Heisel, we were not in their league, and they invited us to go to the mall with them, and I wanted to go. And Mom said, "No, your grades suck. Fuck you." And I was going, and he did the arm grab thing, and I thought, that's one time too many, and I threw him off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he went swinging. He went swinging at me. He never connected. But my dad's like 6 foot tall, and he's swinging with these guys. He was in the army. He's swinging with these big fucking arms, and I'm ducking him, he's just swinging wild. He's so pissed. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ,
dude. I don't know. I turned out okay. And you know what it is? Like, my dad, he'd spanked me one time, but it was more of the threat and the respect that you had for your father back then versus like actually him doing it. That's where the kids are all fucked up now. They don't have the respect that it used to be back in the day. Like, you were scared. He's like, "I'll tell your dad," like, "Don't fucking stop. Why are you doing that? Please don't." Like, it's different back then. Like that, it was just different.
Yeah.
The only time dude, my dad, like, and I had a really good relationship. I could curse around him and say all sorts of shit. We would joke. But when I was like being serious, like one time, and I was being dead serious, dude, and like that motherfucker came at me like Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. He slammed me against the fucking like wall, grabbed me by my throat, not choking, but grabbed me and like lifted my shit off like he was Arnie in Terminator, and my feet were dangling. And he was fucking pissed. And I was like, "Oh shit." But that hurt me more than it hurt, because he was like, I got him that mad. Because I think I smarted off and I said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And I was like 18, 17, and he fucking, dude, like he went straight. You know how like the Flash turned back time in Zack Snyder's Justice League? He fucking stopped everything, and he was right in front of me before I could blink. And he had his hands around my throat and lifted me up like
thunder. Well, now you
like,
got it.
Yeah, dude, like Andre the Giant. And it was just all in one fluid, like Wolverine motion, and the claws were coming out. It was like right there to my throat. And he was like, "What the fuck did you say?
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't say nothing. I'm sorry. And then, but it
Holding
wasn't,
that
you
in
know,
for like that one
but
moment of
but
outburst.
it wasn't, but he didn't hurt me. It wasn't one of the, I didn't have a mark. He didn't choke me. It was one of those moments like you said, fuck you to your own dad. And I'm going to show you that you don't get away with shit like that. And that's how it all happened. And I went away, and my brother Cody was there. He's like, dude, I thought you were going to run away, because I came back a few hours later. And I was like, no, dude, I had to drop my girlfriend off. He embarrassed me in front of my girlfriend, because that's what happened. My girlfriend was over and I was trying to be a Billy badass. And I said, fuck you to him. And then when I came back, I said I was sorry. He was hugging me. He was like, no, I never want you to say that again. And I was like, I never will. And that was more, but again, it really was not the fact that he hurt me or anything like that. The reason why you got upset was because you had disrespected your father, and you were more ashamed of yourself.
And if he let you cross that line, then what's next? You know?
Yeah,
Drugs?
and but that's what I'm saying. Like I see these shits all the time. These shits going into fucking Walmart or any kind of Toy Story these toy stores or whatever, asking for Toy Story figures or something, and their mom or dad won't get them. They're like, fuck you. And I'm talking about like 8-year-olds, and they'll be like, now, Billy, why do you want to talk like that? Do you need medication? Is your blood sugar low? I was like, my mom would have backhanded me back to 1957.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if it's your mom and you're like you're like in 5th grade and you're like a 5th grade boy, and your mom wants to smack you in the mouth one time because you said some bad shit. Hey, now I have 2 daughters. You know, I have a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old, and I've never spanked them, never laid a hand on them, would never, because that's just. You know, but I have what my wife calls dad voice. If dad voice comes out, I fucking mean this, okay? And I use it on Thor all the time. Thor will go outside and run around. He won't come to Katie. I'll come outside and be like, Thor! And he'll be like, fuck, I better come inside right now. God damn it. You know what I mean? But the worst I ever get's dad voice. But I have girls, and I have little girls. You know what I mean?
And that was different. We were boys, and you know, and your dad's, it's different. I don't know. But yeah, usually it was just the tone. And again, Skilliam Shatner says, and Jay never swore again. I never swore around them. First off, even to this day, my mom has got some health problems and stuff, and she's nearly 90 years old. I better not say the GD word, and I better not say fuck. If I say, I can get away with saying shit, and then I'll say, I'll try to push it, and I'll be like, this is some stupid shit. And then she'll be like, you watch your mouth.
I'll wash
that
with soap.
I was like, I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean it. What I'm saying is it's a stupid crap. It's so stupid.
This sucks.
But it's just different, guys. I don't know. And again, I don't know where we were going with that, but that was just, it was fun. Yeah. It's fun to talk about and reminisce sometimes.
It is fun to talk about.
Hey, you remember when I got my ass beat by my dad? Wow.
Eric James says, what's up, you sexual pieces of man chocolate? Hey, you better watch yourself. I don't know what I mean. Can I get Loomis to tell my son Isaac to be nicer to his mom, Nicole, and Chalice to tell his mom to be nicer to me? Cursing is okay. Hype me up a little. So he wants Loomis, you go first. He wants Loomis to tell his son Isaac to be nicer to his mom, Nicole.
Okay. Isaac! Do you hear me? Are you on your iPad, your iPhone, or your eye stupid? Be nicer to Nicole. For God's sake. You're named after Isaac Newton, the one that discovered gravity and apples. Be more respectful. And if you don't, your Christmas is canceled. I will go to the North Pole myself and tell Santa Claus, guess what Isaac's done? He has been inappropriate and a little shit to Nicole. And you know what Santa say? Oh, well, he's been on my good list. I was like, well, check it again, you fat son of a bitch.
You said,
or you're fired.
You said, guess what Isaac's done? Guess what Isaac's done?
You've been nice to Nicole. Now go to bed and change your stinky winky diapers.
Now, listen here, Nicole. Listen here. Now, I know you got some kids running around. I know you're busy with your kids, but you got to treat your husband right, okay? He's probably a doctor, probably just needs a nap, okay? Just needs a nap. Needs a nap, needs a good snuggle maybe. Maybe some other things. But, you know, it's Monday afternoon. He comes home after a long day of work. I know that you think he's gained a few pounds, okay? But it's stressful, all right? Give him a tug. Give him a tug. And you know what I mean. Give him a tug at a baseball game. Take him to the Cubs game. Treat him to a nice Father's Day in January. You know what I mean? Because he's a hard-working man, okay? And it's a stupid thing to question what a man does when he's not in your sights, all right? So give him a tug, give him a hot dog, take him to a baseball game. That's your man. You don't want him going to fake doctors' conferences with little Miss Grumpridges, okay? I've done it. Doesn't end well, all right? Respect your man. And hey, you listen here, Eric. You respect her too, because I'll come in that house and I'll take her to a baseball game, okay?
He's saying he fuck her at the baseball game right after the shitty Braves, because that's Mike's favorite.
7th inning stretch, you know what I'm saying?
By the way, I do want to read this one because I just watched this movie. Magic Emperor, thank you so much for the super chat. He says that is exactly how you were scared and terrified. Your dad coming home. God is in his holy temple. Earthly thoughts be silent now. If your dad was coming home from work and your mom had told him what a little asshole you've been, that is the sound he was singing to come bust that ass.
You don't want that smoke. You do not want that smoke.
I thought you wanted these hands, dog.
That's a dad. That's a 21st century dad. Like if I had a 16-year-old son and he came over, was like, "Fuck you, dad." I'm like, "You want hands, son? You want to throw hands? Let's go in the backyard and throw hands."
That's Generation X. By the way, Skilliam Shatter said he could have been named after Isaac Hayes, bro. Yeah, he could have been, but I just feel like Newton was like the one that my brain went to. I don't know why.
I don't know, dude. I feel like sons and dads are weird too, because like I don't have any boys, but I do have a nephew who I was around when he was a little baby, and like now he's fucking like big. He's taller than me. He's kind of ripped a little bit. And, like if I was that kid's dad, I would know. At the back of my mind, I would know, like, one day I'm going to have to kick my son's ass. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in every dad's mind, they're like, that kid grows up and he's 17 and he's a little shit and he starts to get big for his britches. I'm going to have to assert dominance over my home, and I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. You have to wait until the kid strikes you first. But if that kid ever gets out of pocket
and he gets on the escalator.
Yeah, gets on the escalator, tries to throw hands at me, I'm gonna have to take my son down. You know?
You know what?
It's like we said in that commentary. It's like true life. I took on my dad and got fucked up. Right?
So that's the lion way.
Yeah.
Okay. The male lions, they keep around the young lions for a little while, and when they get big enough that they can shout, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Go make it on your own, son. I've made it on my own my entire life, and you've been sucking your mom's tit. Well, the cash flow and the tit sucking and the milk is gone. Get out.
And don't get me
I'll
wrong.
punch you.
Hey, I'm not saying that the dad has to start the fight with the kid. That's backwards. That's
but
abuse.
you gotta be wary of it.
But as a dad, you have to be sort of in shape, and you have to be prepared for the fact that your son might become an unruly teenager and try to strike you. Now, if your son tries to strike you and he succeeds, and your son kicks your own ass, you're fucked, buddy. You've lost all power.
Well, in that case, I'm pulling out a billy club, and my son will learn. I'll cheat. I'm like, hey, I guess you didn't learn about this from your old man. Use any means necessary to win, you stupid punk.
The dad has to stay the alpha in the house, okay? And he can't go and instigate that fight. But if the son instigates that fight, he has to be prepared to show the son what's what.
It's so weird. We wouldn't even be having those kind of discussions because like growing up in the 90s, for sure. And I'm sure you people that grew up in the 80s that were youngins in the 70s, you understand that you didn't fuck with that shit. Like that stuff it never popped in your mind to really, I mean, there were cases, of parents and kids. I watched Cops. Like you saw that shit sometimes, but overall the general idea was kids respected their fucking mom and dad, especially their fucking dad, because he ain't gonna take no bullshit.
Yeah, or else they end up on Cops.
Well, because I mean they're working their ass off, they're working like their fingers to the bone, they're probably doing a shitty factory job or some shitty salesman job that they don't want to keep doing the rest of their life, but they have to do it. They grew up with the values and the honor system that they were raised with in the 50s. And now they got to do it, and they are going to come home to some little asshole kid being disrespectful and ungrateful.
Exactly. And you know, it's a different time now. I don't know how that shit works now. But what are you going to do?
It's like goddamn Fortnite.
Marco V. Velatoro says, you knew it was real when your mom called you by your full name or gave you that look that you best run because the chancla is coming.
Dude, one time my mom gave me that look before, and my brother and I ran away and lived in the gazebo for 2 hours. We had a gazebo.
I remember the gazebo
in the backyard, and my mom was pissed. I don't even know what we did. We did something really bad. I told my brother, I was like, dude, we just got to run away. You remember that movie Elijah Wood in North? They just go north and they can find new parents. And we made it as far as the backyard and the gazebo. We just stayed up there all night. But then guess what? It didn't matter. Mom was like fucking straight up T-1000 in Terminator 2. She waited till we came back home because she knew we would. And when we were in bed, she came in real silent like a ghost and ninja, opened the door, it creaked open. She's standing silhouetted in the doorway. And she says, you know what I have to do?
I will ninja fuck you up.
She said, you know what I have to do? And I'm like, no, Mom. And she's like, yes. And she pulled out her weapon, her samurai switch.
You know
and
what
she
I have
fucking
to do.
Yeah, but she pulled out her samurai switch, dude, and she laid into it, and that fucking hurt. And then I cried, and then she hugged me and stuff like that, and gave me a glass of milk, and then she's like, "Now you're still gonna go to school tomorrow," and I had to do that to teach you a lesson, and I don't want to do that, but you don't act like that to your mom.
My mom was.
Because you're gonna give an account for every bad word you said against me to God Almighty, and I'm like, well, I don't want. I mean, does he have that good of a memory? But yeah, that I remember that. Yeah, you if your mom does that shit, if she gives you that look, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Or if your girlfriend or wife says your full name, you're fucked.
Yeah, my mom would always threaten my dad on me, but the funny thing is as I got older, I realized that if I can outrun my mom long enough, if she's chasing me around with that belt or that switch, if I could parkour hardcore around the living room long enough, she'll eventually start laughing because I'll be fucking hanging from the ceiling like no, like run around like if I can outrun her, eventually she'll just start fucking laughing. I'm like everything's fine. She's like yeah, you're grounded and you can't have any money. I'm like fuck.
Yeah, they always like mom always did this thing where she would lick her lips.
Oh, I've seen the lick lip before from your mom.
And she'd get all
to me.
I'm oh fuck.
You boys need a job.
If you saw that, you're like, God damn, here comes a fucking 10-minute, 15-minute fight. Probably gonna end up switched if I say anything awful.
My mom's done that to me before, dude. I'll never forget. I had so many conversations that I'd be like, hey, Cody left his jacket in my car. I'm just dropping this off. She's sitting there, she's drinking her coffee and smoking her cigarette. She's like, sit down. I'm like, okay, my mom. And she'd be like, you boys need a job.
Yeah,
you boys
say random shit.
I would sit there and be like, yes, my mom. She's like, you boys need to go down. I saw an ad in the paper. They're hiring truckers. You need to go to trucking school.
Yeah, dude, she did.
You need to go do this. I'm like, all right, my mom. I'm like, I gotta go though.
I would be because you would tell me. I was like, yo, mom told me we need to get jobs. And then I come home mad at mom, like, dude, mom, why are you telling my friends to get jobs and shit? And I need to get a job and be a trucker at Pizza Hut or something. And she's like, get out of my face with your foolishness. And I was like, you're letting it talk? It was so weird. Like, anyway, but yeah, that was a nice little walk down the rambling, bambling, Milky Way of memories. By the way, we do that constantly on the Patreon live stream. So if you guys want to have more of that, definitely come and join us on a Saturday
tomorrow night. It gets wild. We even play music. It's weird. Spiral Sky Project, thank you very much, says, can Slenderman cover The Right Stuff by New Kids on the Block? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know the song, so I probably did that wrong.
No, that what you were doing, it sounded like it sounds something else. I don't know much of it, but I can give you this. You got the right stuff, baby. Love the way you turn me on. You got the right stuff, baby. Donnie Wahlberg's okay. That's
Saw 3. 2.
Don't in my life was you. I don't know. Yeah. But that's all I remember. Oh.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what I did. I said, ooh, ooh, ooh. Jonathan Brunner, dude, thank you so much. Really appreciate that, man. Mike and Jay, just want to say thank you. I'm having a blast as always hanging out with you guys. There's nothing I'd rather do more with my evenings than spend time with you guys and the rest of the Wham fam. Love you guys. Hey,
thanks, Jonathan.
Not
you, man.
necessary, my brother. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate it.
Please don't go, girl.
Please don't go.
That's another song for the new kids.
Oh.
Please don't go, girl.
I'm gonna have to listen to New Kids on the Block just so I know what you fucking people are talking about when you talk words.
You know, there was you. Well, you would know. You got the right stuff, and then hanging tough. You would know that song. Like both those songs were the big, huge ones that New Kids launched with.
Did you already read? I feel like you did. Did you already read Magic Emperor's?
Yeah, I read his.
God is in his holy temple.
Dude, that's what I was saying. Like, if that's how your dad is like walking towards the house when your mom has called him on the landline, telling him that you've been naughty.
Oh yeah, dude. Don't make me
like
call
you know,
dad.
like in that scene in Poltergeist 2, that creepy ass fucking preacher, you are
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, when she calls your dad, you're fucked.
I just want Taylor the Native American awesome shaman from Poltergeist 2 was like, the beast lies. Don't believe him.
Anthony Stamps, thanks, buddy. He says, I'm really into writing fan films, but unfortunately most of them were lost. I had some written for Nightmare, Friday the 13th, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Batman. I'm currently working on rewriting them. Hey, man, that sucks. The worst thing I ever lost in my entire life that was, like, important to me was my virginity. No, it was actually...
That was important to you?
Yeah, not at 15. But that
was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was a dark time. There was some weird stuff going on. You
a
remember
dark
those times?
night on the collective soul.
You remember those times.
I not at 15.
No,
Motherfucker, I
was
didn't get down
15.
until 19.
You didn't get down, but your girlfriend and my girlfriend did.
That was bad. Yeah. But I didn't even get in it. And they were cheating on me.
Shit. Well, no, you were there. It wasn't cheating because we were watching.
I wasn't there.
We were watching. What are you talking about? No, I'm talking about...
I think you're talking about something nasty.
I'm talking about 15. I'm talking about those two girls.
Okay, well, you know, we don't need to talk about that live on the open air. Because now people are gonna like, oh, was Rob Zombie there filming it somewhere in the crack of a fucking wall? Shush.
But no, the worst thing I ever lost was my fucking cards, dude. Like, I know you're talking about writing fan films and stuff and losing them, but I lost a bunch of cards. I had so many Kobe rookies. I had so many. One time I had all the Marvel Masterpiece cards, and I had my mom and my sister used to show horses, so I spent a lot of my youth just hanging around fucking barns that smelled like shit, and just like walking around like I don't care about horses, and like looking at my cards and shit like that, or reading comic books in a field somewhere, but. I left my fucking collection, my whole binder collection of all the Marvel Masterpiece cards, which are worth like actual money now. And someone fucking stole them at a fucking horse show. Like, what horse riding piece of shit wanted my goddamn 12-year-old Marvel cards?
They were worth, well, back then they probably were selling for a good penny.
They were going for shit back then.
Well,
piece
maybe
of
they were
shit.
maybe they knew. Maybe they got a DeLorean and they went back in time and knew how much it was.
They're probably selling them on eBay right now. I could probably find the fucker that stole my cards when I was like 9.
I think the worst thing I ever lost was my fucking book collection when my ex-Skeletor wife fucking sold them all to get fucking drugs for a goddamn arm. That fucking blowjob sucking bitch.
To be fair, I tried to tell you to army your way in that fucking
I
place
couldn't know, dude, because
books.
listen, I had a whole giant bookshelf and I had so many fucking Star Wars books. I had the Mass Effect books. I had all the Stephen King books. I had every single Stephen King book possible, even hardcover editions. And that fucking nasty Jolly Ranch cunt went and sold them all to support her habit. And I'm like, fuck! I felt like Powder. Remember Powder when he like goes down to his basement and he just has that one thing and all the empty bookshelves? And she's like, they took everything. He's like, yeah. It was terrible, but yeah, that was the worst thing. I hated losing all my books, and I also lost all my strategy guides that I had for all my games because I had a giant stack of strategy guides for all my RPGs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, you had a lot of shit in there.
But you know, I also lost my self-respect 10 minutes ago when Mike brought up when we were 15.
Hey, you didn't do anything that you would lose your self-respect for. That was a pretty goddamn cool day.
I know, but I don't like
a good day.
It was a great day.
So
but I don't want to talk about it with everybody else. Because that was a private show.
That's funny as fuck. Cody Buchanan says, my son's 14 and I'm 35. We play wrestling all the time and he can take me, LOL. Makes me tap out like a little girl. Cody, buddy, you gotta get in the gym. You gotta start lifting. When that kid's 17 and he wants to take over your fucking house, you're gonna have to do something.
He's gonna come up in his El Camino one day in your driveway, speaking like Macho Man Randy Savage, and he's like, "Dad, get out of my house."
Yes, son. Here's $20.
Well, actually, that sounds like Ultimate Warrior. The gods pass down the champion blood to me. Dad, you are no longer worthy of the warrior spirit.
Grubby said, what's up, by the way, man? He said, if we ran from mom, she said that we have to stop sometime and then look out.
That's another good one, yeah.
Yeah, your mom was like, you could run from her. Like, you could outsmart her for a few minutes, but you got to sleep in that fucking house. You know what I mean? It's like you said, your mom will just creep in your room and be like, you know what I
That's how mom always, she's like, you got to come home sometime, baby. I know you coming home. By the way, there was this really funny thing back when we were kids. Mom, she got real creative with the punishments. One day she said, because Cody and I had done something bad. I don't know what it was. Because because we were pretty bad kids. I thought I was smart. I thought I was the Lex Luthor of doing bad things because I would blame it on Cody, or I would
Cody was worse. You were just an asshole.
Well, Cody was a doomsday. Like I would just unleash him on whatever and get him in trouble, and I was Lex Luthor, like laughing with my pipe. I'm like, I have made this happen. But sometimes I would get caught too. Mom was just like Superman. She would find out. It doesn't matter. But Cody, we got in trouble for something, and then Mom's like, all right, well, boys, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna let you, and she looked at me, you're gonna pick out Cody's switch, and Cody, you're gonna pick out JT's switch. So we had to go out in the yard and pick out a switch that Mom was gonna like spank us with. And I told Cody, I was like, man, listen, I'm gonna get you a really small, easy going, barely alive branch that's gonna break on 2 hits. No big deal. And if you do that for me, then we're square. I did that because Cody's like, yeah, that sounds good. I went out and got that. I got a really flimsy, nothing bullshit switch. Cody came back with a fucking log from Jurassic Park.
Of course he did.
Volume 2. And he was like, here, Mom, this is for JT. And I was like, you motherfucker. And I'd already given her anyway. It's crazy.
Hey, by the way, I gotta say something here real quick. I gotta say something just because I don't want imaginations running wild into some weird shit. All that happened was we got our girlfriends to make out when we were 15 years old. Okay, that's
oh
it.
Yeah, we were they were and they were in the same age bracket. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't weird. We didn't go to a college party when we were 15 and like get taken advantage of by like some college students.
The way we left that on a cliffhanger, I didn't want someone to go wild with their crazy. It made me think it was something way worse than that. That's all. It was. Yeah. They made out and they got on top of each other and they rubbed around and Mike and I were the only people invited to the show, and that was good. And there was this weird creepy guy that he wanted to keep coming into the room. I'm like, no, you're not coming in here. Okay, this is for Mike and I. This is our girlfriends. You can stay the fuck out. By the way, we were also 15.
We were all underage. I mean, we were like, yeah, this is not like. It wasn't like we were at fucking Uncle Teddy's house.
But at
drinking
15, that
goddamn
was like
Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, 15, that was like seeing a baseball park for the first time. Good Real Hunting says, thanks for being awesome and genuine, guys. You all are an inspiration for us. Keep rocking. Enjoy the weekend. What nice words, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if we should be inspirations. Make sure that you only take the good parts and not the bad. But really appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot.
I feel like weird that we had to admit. Like I feel like we were like forced to admit it.
Well, I was thinking in my own brain. I was worrying. I was thinking someone's going to think we did some weird ass shit. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to, because we made it seem probably cooler than it was.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's like we just said we were 15. We were fucking 15. Dude, it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. And like, I still think it's still awesome. Like if there was a category in my brain looks like Jeopardy with all the categories laid out, and there's a 200 and there's a daily double, and then there's the bonus round. Like that shit is in the daily double fucking 2000 fucking mark. Okay. So hell no, that was a good time. I just didn't know we were going to share it with everybody. So, because that was a private show.
Oh, fuck. Jeremy Blevins, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. He says, in middle school, my dad worked third shift driving a tractor trailer, and I didn't want to go to school one morning. My dad tore my room apart and backed me up against the wall and told me to clean my room. So I did.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you did. I would have too, man.
But those are the best kind of dads too, because those kind of dads, like when they get really pissed off at you and they're like a man's man, like it's such a misconception, because a man's man doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna beat you or hurt you or anything like that. They usually what they do is they have to be stern with you, and then when it's over, they just want to hang out with their son or their daughter. They're like, hey, that's awesome. Do you want to go to the mall, or do you want to watch some movies, or do you want to play a video game?
Yeah.
Like those are usually like softies.
Yeah. But you gotta let them know, to respect you, But and I'll never forget, dude. I'll never forget when I graduated high school at age 17. And when I say graduated, I mean I didn't get to walk. I graduated 2 weeks late. I had to graduate in summer school because I was stupid.
I thought you were 23.
No, maybe. No, I was working though. So I literally finally got my certificates. Like I gotta go to work now because I was working at like age 15 through high school, but I was stupid in school. So I went and I got my my thing or whatever, and then like I decided like I totally missed the college window, so I took a window there. I took a year. I was like, I was just
dude. By the way, you're doing like an interpretive dance. Doopy doopy doop doop doop. Ah.
I was.
Graduated high school. Got a job.
Multiple jobs. But no, I quit some of them, many of them. But what the fuck was I talking about? No, I'll never forget. I was like 18, and I took like 6 weeks there, and I didn't have a job. And my dad he'd wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., be gone for 3 weeks at a time. He fucking worked. He worked his fucking ass off when I was that age. And normally he was so busy working, he didn't really get involved in any of this shit.
Right.
But one day, I'll never forget the day he kicked open my fucking door. And I'm laying there, I'm listening to some Green Day on my fucking headphones, Longview, you know.
Was it Dookie? Oh.
No, yeah, it was Dookie. It was Longview, sit around and jerk off all day, man. This is my life now. I'm just going to smoke some dope, sit around, jerk off in my room all day long. This is awesome. No, says I. My dad one day, he just said, he was probably on his way out to work, picked up a suitcase and said, you know what? I'm going to set this fucking kid straight today. Actually, probably dropped the suitcase.
I think your mom had probably told him.
Probably. She probably fucking told him. But he walked in there and just decided, I'm going to fucking kick that door open. And it was like 7:30 in the morning. He was like, you get your fucking ass up and you go out there and you get a goddamn job. That's not what he said because he didn't curse. But he was just like, you get a job today. And I was like, oh, God. What do you want? Can I have a bagel? Can I at least have a bagel on my way out the door? You know?
Yeah. That's the worst when your parents give you undressing. When you're just trying to chill out, play with your wiener and your balls in the middle of the morning, and then they kick the door in and like, you want to sleep away the rest of your life? Get up and enjoy it and go outside and get a job.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was the words. That was like if I had died in my early 20s, it would have been my epitaph would have been get a job. That's why I say it would get a job. Because that's literally all that came out of my mom and dad's mouth for a few years. Oh
yeah.
But holy shit, we have talked for 40 fucking minutes and not got even an iota of Joker 2 news. But by the way, we've got 287 people in here having a ball.
Give yourself a round
listening
of
to
applause,
our fucked up childhoods.
Thanks for hanging
that.
out with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll get these last super chats. We'll knock out the news real quick before we go, because as we promised. Sorry for going on a rant there, guys. But thank you, Jeremy. Really appreciate that, man. P. Rich, really appreciate that, man. He says, Michael J., have you ever tried Molson Canadian beer and edibles candies? I've never eaten an edible because I have anxiety and it would give me a fucking panic attack and I'd be running around my house butt naked screaming about like aliens attacking my butthole. I've never had Molson's. I don't think I've ever had a Molson's. Have you ever had Molson's?
To, man? I mean, you know how I am with like new beer. Like I ain't never had that.
Well, we'll do a taste test then.
Word of the day. Van Thompson is right. Word of the day. Job. J-O-B.
You're going to get you a G-O-B.
Boy, I smelled your shit for 22 years. You can't smell mine for 5 minutes. Bring your ass up in here.
Eric James says, that was awesome. You guys deserve a tip, maybe even 2 behind Applebee's. You know what you're saying. At midnight. Love you guys. Thanks for always being stellar dudes. Thank you, Eric, man. Love you, dude. Appreciate that, man, a lot. But
Eric,
dark things happen behind Applebee's every night of the week.
I mean, can we get a gift card?
No matter where you are in America or where your kids are at 11 p.m. at night, there's dark things happening in a dark alleyway behind an Applebee's right now. And some of them are good things. Some of them are bad things.
It is actually true. Yes. I mean, there could be like a really awesome hot hookup with a waitress, or it could be like Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Or like, some wife is out there cheating on her husband with her high school boyfriend in the parking lot at Applebee's.
Well, I mean, it's a good time for her. It's not a good time for her husband.
For her family. Yeah. But dude, there's also good things happening. Some guy just took a hit off a blunt and he's Gary Catlow or Marco V. Villatoro says new kids on the block are like the American version of Menudo. I don't know what that means, but I think
Menudo, dude. Menudo was the Spanish boy band group that came out in the 80s as well, led by a very, very young Ricky Martin was a part of that boy band.
Really?
But I don't. Yeah. And by the way, you would know this motherfucker if you actually paid attention to pop-up videos when they were on VH1. No, they didn't do this. They did this. And they were hot, sexy boys from Mexico, Hispanic, great skin. That's where Ricky Martin started. And they were good. But you're right. Your comparison is pretty much spot on. It's kind of strange though. Ricky Martin, I think he only brought up Menudo a couple of times in interviews because he left them all behind because he went on to She Bangs.
Oh, baby, but she moves. So crazy. Gary Catlow says, my dad was a prick. He would hit my mother and he once set the house on fire with me and mom inside. I said, when I grow up, he's fucked, but I haven't seen him in years and I'm more chill now as an adult. Hey,
damn, man.
fucking sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. And by the way, that's a good point to mention that as we joke about our childhoods and stuff like that, we never had to do that stuff like that. You know, there's a whole bunch of like fucked up people who do fucked up awful things. When we laugh about our childhoods, they weren't that. So we're not making light or making like jokes about stuff like that. Some of that shit's real serious, fucked up. And Gary, I'm so sorry that fucking happened. And you know what? It's probably better that you haven't seen him. You don't even need to fuck him up, because wherever he is, I promise you, in his brain, he's probably feeling guilty as fuck for the way he spent his life doing disgusting shit like that.
You know, and fuck him, and he'll burn in hell with Satan's asshole. But it's the same thing. If I make fun of the decade of the 1940s, I'm not really making light of the fact that World War II happened and Nazi camp went on. So I mean, you know, it is what it is. But But we're talking about our experiences, and that's what we're talking about. But yeah, man, that sucks that it happened for show.
Someone said, that was weird. I was trying to look for, that's weird. Chuck and Renee Eggers says, can we get some Slender Man and Mark Wahlberg, LOL? Well, I love you, Chuck and Renee, but you got to give us a topic.
Yeah, we ain't got no topics, so it's kind of hard for us just to like really riff on it.
Well, we'll start talking about the news that we were going to talk about. It's the perfect introduction. It's the perfect introduction to talk about Joker 2. They're going to make a Joker 2 movie. Can you believe it?
Why you sound like you got gum inside your lips?
Because I'm excited about this clown.
You excited about clown?
I'm excited about the clown.
What him doing? Is he making water balloons, or is he making like animals?
Joaquin Phoenix probably wakes up at like 4 a.m. He's probably getting in the gym. He's probably getting it on real hard. Protein bars, turkey burgers, all that shit like that. He's got to get it down. He's got to get slim for Joker.
Him gonna get like such a stomach ache from doing all that right away, and that happened because he wanted to play a clown. He just thought you got to go to clown school.
Hey, let me ask you this, Mr. Slenderman. Which one do you think is healthier? Which one do you think is better for carbs? Which one do you think is better for the Atkins diet? Do you think that Jimmy John's or Subway is better for the Atkins diet?
Yeah, well, we don't know Mr. Atkins at all. I mean, if he sound like high school teacher, but me will say what is healthier is a Subway sandwich. So if Mr. Wahlberg wants to get healthy on the shape, me will assume that him would go to Subway sandwich.
Well, which one has more protein? Because I need to get some fucking protein.
You got to go to freaking Subway sandwich.
How much is the double meat option? You should not say the F word there.
Don't do that.
How much is the double meat option?
The double meat option?
Yeah.
Well, it depends if you know the person making you sandwich. If you know the person making you sandwich, it's not going to be as listed, the price.
I think everybody should come to Wahlburgers because we got a double protein option.
But that is not. But not every place in the world has Wahlburgers.
Your shit's about as fresh as my fucking asshole.
That's so smelly. That's so nasty that you even compared that.
It's about as fresh as Donnie's fucking career. That shit's old as shit.
It may be old, but him still rocking it out with leather pants on. We saw him on VH1 behind the music. And he was rocking it out, having a good old time. In the what's this news about Joker 2?
Joker 2.
Yeah.
Joker 2. Put on your fucking serious face, Jay. All right?
Huh?
Fucking do it. Okay? No, I'm kidding. Joker 2 is reportedly being written by the original movie's director. Todd Phillips, who directed the movie, is reportedly, I don't know what that means in this instance, but has reportedly been tapped to also write the sequel, which means, and the only news here, is that there's going to be a sequel because they never officially said, hey, there's going to be a fucking Joker sequel.
I got mixed bag on this, man.
Me too.
You know, it's weird. I really, really loved like Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, man. I mean, to me, like, and I know people are going to hate on this, but I think he's better than Heath Ledger. I think he's like right up there. I think he's slightly better than Heath Ledger's Joker. I liked Joaquin Phoenix's performance better as Joker. I like the
you tell lies and I don't believe you.
I'm gonna go dance down. I'm gonna go dance down some stairs later on, and I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's how I felt when I do that. When I say he was better than Heath Ledger, I dance down some stairs and smoke a cigarette. But anyway, no, I liked him. I liked him better. I think I think the story was better told. And yes, I've heard the argument, well, if Heath Ledger had had a whole movie dedicated to him, it would have been different. Yes, of course, I understand. But I'm just saying in this context, Joaquin Phoenix was incredible in it. And it was an amazing introduction to a new age Joker that wasn't Heath Ledger, that wasn't Jack Nicholson, that wasn't Jared Leto, that needs a sandwich and some bananas to get his weight up and some tattoo remover. he was his own guy.
Mhm.
Joaquin Phoenix took that role and made it fucking his. It is unique to Joaquin, and I think overall it was an amazing flick that was also directed or written by a guy that had been known more for comedy
Mhm.
in the Hangover series than anything else, which is also a testament to him. But I feel like it ended so solidly. I feel like if you're not going to do anything more with that character, if you're not going to put it in the Matt Reeves Batman, if you're not going to have those universes cross over,
Mhm.
end it. But at the same time, I do want to see where it goes. I kind of want to see what they do. But at the same, but I always I feel like right now it's just it's so easy to go downhill.
Yeah, I felt this way after I watched it. I've let this movie sit on my face over time, and I still appreciate it.
Take
just
out the pubes.
The performance was great. The movie was great, but the more and more I've thought about it over time, the more and more I go, what's the fucking point of a sequel to it at all?
It really isn't.
Because it's like the point was to tell a different, weird, like alternate version kind of take on Joker, and whether they said it was or not, it felt like an alternate world. It didn't feel like this world. It felt like a different version of it. It felt like it was meant to say, hey, and again, the whole point of the Joker is how many times has he lied about his origin story? So to go in and make a Joker and make an origin story, fine. Because it could just sit out there and it's not the Heath Ledger origin story. It's not the Jack Nicholson origin story. It's just a weird one-shot strange thing they did and it fucking worked. But to make that the official, if you do a sequel to that, it feels more official than I feel like it needs to be. And also, we saw it. We saw him rise from a child. That sounds weird, but we saw him rise to the point where he's the Joker and everybody has the clown mask on and he started this thing and it left off the way it did. I just don't see a need for a Joker without a Batman for more than one movie.
That's the interesting argument right there. And the fact is, that's where I'm torn, because Joaquin was so great in it and he was so awesome in his role. And he really was. He was a superb Joker. He was so good. And they did this is what I mean. When they had some kind of social commentary, they did it in a very, very subtle, great way in this film. They talked about mental health. And they did it in a very, very awesome way. Right. And not like shoving it, this big, fat, ugly, veiny cock in your mouth. They did it in ways that you didn't know you were getting butt fucked. But I liked the fact that they had those elements. Like, he was obviously a mentally disturbed individual, and he starts slowly losing touch with reality. And that's what slowly leads him into this delirium. And then people are cheering him, his anarchy. Yeah. And then it kind of bolsters his own confidence. And then he just fully embraces the character. But at the same time, I also feel like if you end the movie with him just being that, Mike and I have talked multiple times on DC doing one-shots. That's a great one-shot. That's a great one-shot. Yes. If you want to do a sequel, though, I can't argue against it because it made $1 billion fucking dollars. DC is desperate for anything really positive at this point. And but what do you do? Here's the thing. What do you do at this point when you go into a sequel? Do you introduce a Batman? You have to at this point.
Right, because, and here's the reason why, and this is the last thing I'll say about it. This is the number one reason why I don't think there needs to be a Joker sequel, and it's because of this. I've seen since the movie came out. Now, there was a bunch of talk when the movie was coming out, like, are we gonna, a white guy who has mental issues, and we're all gonna side with him, and all that stuff.
Because it can't happen to a black guy or anybody else.
Right, but like, we're gonna make this white guy with mental issues a hero, and people are upset about that. And I'm like, you got to check the nuances here, guys, and look at what's going on. That being said, though, at the same time,
disturbed.
The movie ends. Like he was a sympathetic character up to a point. The minute he pulled that gun out and he shot Robert Downey Jr. and he shot Robert De Niro, he wasn't sympathetic anymore. And I feel like that's a fact. The minute that he decided to openly pull a gun out and murder another human being, which like he had murdered people up until that point, but they all kind of came in succession, right? The first people he murdered were actually like attacking him. You know what I mean? They were actually physically attacking him and putting his life in danger. So it was like leading his way there. Still sympathetic. The moment that he starts to murder people, that he becomes a murderer, he's no longer sympathetic and he's a full-on bad guy. To me, that means that a sequel where he's sympathetic can't exist. Because the second that he starts killing people, and I'm seeing people side with him, and I'm seeing them go, I feel like that too. No, it's not okay to feel like you can ever pull out a gun and shoot anybody or murder anybody because they were mean to you. Yeah. And I feel like if they go into a sequel territory and he's still like in a Venom way, if he's still the main focus and sympathetic after what he's done, it does not work anymore to me.
No, yeah, and here's the thing. You're right. He was very sympathetic. He was a very sympathetic character. You could empathize with being left out, treated like shit, looked over, not appreciated. And that's the character they were going for. And because of this weight that's on him mentally, he breaks. He breaks, and that happens in real life. I mean, unfortunately, that really does happen with mental health. People that have these problems.
Mm-hmm.
He broke. Yeah, and when he pulled the gun and he said, "You get what you fucking deserve," a lot of people, a lot of people clapped because in those instances, he said, "I'm tired of pretending that it's not. I'm tired of pretending to live in your little society and that everything fits in this nice little box with a bow. And you tell me what I think is funny, and you tell me what I think is great. You tell me what I." He was just that's why people gravitated toward this character. I think is because it was a guy against the established system, but. Obviously, committing murder is not really the way to get your message across. And now what I think happened with Joker, or Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, is that he lost touch completely with reality. And what he became was a victim of social media. Well, there was no social media, but he became a victim of his own fame. He wanted to, and
he was already mentally ill.
So well, but as soon as he got this, he latched onto it, and now he fully embraced this idea of his godlike powers, that he can somehow inspire a uprising or what's the word, anarchy, anarchist. And but
which
yeah, but a sequel,
wrong message you want to send. You know what I mean?
If
he's going to be sympathetic,
I'm not dogging the movie. The movie's great. Right. It would be cool if they had like something at the very back end. You don't have to. Okay, you don't. But like a number for suicide or for a mental health number, whatever. At the very end of the movie, like a number, you could have done that. But either way, going forward with the sequel, you got to now embrace and you got to go full on evil. You got to make Joker. Yeah, you got to make him unsympathetic. You got to make him unempathetic. You got to make him kill fucking puppies and kittens and babies and kids. There's one, and by the way, Joker's done some really fucking disturbing things in the DC comic books. Like there's one scene specifically in a DC comic book. I remember he sets a poison bomb in a child hospital and he kills all the babies. And he thinks that's hilarious. So if you're going to move forward with the sequel, at this point, you've got to make Joker. Now you got to make Joaquin Phoenix Joker not relatable anymore. He has got to be so fucking evil.
I 100% agree. And if you're going to make your lead that bad, then there has got to be a good guy. He cannot be the sympathetic lead after what he did. Yeah. And that's all I'm saying. Like if Batman's going to be in the movie, then yes, there going to be a Joker too. But if there's not, I have a hard time imagining us being sympathetic towards this character because here's the thing. Up until the point where he starts, and I'll say it again, but I'll say it much briefer. Up until the points where he starts murdering people, he's sympathetic. But the second that you start murdering people, that's when you go, okay, no, you are a fucking bad guy now. Especially in today's society, where the way to take that hate and that anger and that abuse that you've taken is to take it into a positive route, obviously, and like stop bullying and stop shit like that. You can't respond that way because then you literally are the bad guy, and not like you're seen as bad guy, but you are the bad guy. So another sequel with him doing the same shit he was doing here, if they try to make him sympathetic in a sequel, it will not fucking work, and it'll be a shit show.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. We agree on that because you got to go the opposite way. You got to make a movie where he's so disgustingly bad, and he at this point, Joaquin Phoenix Joker is so terrible, and he does. You got to show atrocities. You got to show some bad shit for people to be finally like, God, this is not a guy to root for. Like, this is actually a disturbed, nasty motherfucker. And like, I think someone said The Killing Joke, where he rapes Barbara Gordon.
Right.
A paralyzed chick. He paralyzes her.
Now that would be a lead-in if you had a Batman.
Right. Exactly. Now here's the thing, and some of you guys don't know, and I'm not trying to I'm not talking tales outside of school. This actually happened. Some of you Batman fans out there that may not know about this, or people that just watch the movies. There's a scene in The Killing Joke where Joker literally a paralyzed Barbara Gordon, which is, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, Batgirl. He paralyzed her, And then he breaks into her apartment and rapes her. And then, I mean, I'm not, he rapes her violently and then takes pictures of it and then posts it around an amusement park and then kidnaps Commissioner Gordon and makes him go through the tunnel with all the pictures of what he did to his daughter. Now, at that point, he is so unsympathetic. He's this fucking nasty individual, this sick fucker. Batman comes in and fucks him up. But you're right. If you don't have Batman in it, what's the point of doing it? Right. I mean, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're going to actually move him further into the... Now, there could be a reason Joker 2 could move him further into Matt Reeves' Batman, because Batman is just starting out in the Matt Reeves
And that
Batman.
makes sense. Yeah, I'm just saying, the thing that's bothered me, and again, I want to make it very clear, I do not side with the people who say Joker shouldn't exist because of blah, blah, blah. But I have seen something disturbing.
They said that he shouldn't exist?
No, they said the movie shouldn't exist because of all that dumb shit. But, I have seen some people that disturbingly after the movie have come out say that they sympathize with what he did. They sympathize with the fact that he went out and started murdering people because he was picked on and stuff like that. And that is absolutely disgusting and the wrong fucking message to send. And it's completely the incorrect way to take this movie. That's not what they're going for at all. So if they went further with that, I think it's irresponsible and I don't think that they should do it. But that, that is what it is. But if, you gotta have a good guy in there because Joker's not a good guy anymore. He ain't no.
Yeah, writer says, "Christ, Jay, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not talking. I didn't make that up. That happened. Real. That's in the comic books.
Yeah, exactly.
They made an animated movie on it.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, like, if it were me, okay, if I were the studio with Joker, what I want to do, it's the same thing with Michael Myers. It's the same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger. I don't want him to be relatable. I don't want these look, we all love Michael. But we all love Freddy Krueger, and we think he's a pop culture icon. He's an MTV guy. He's a pedophile, motherfuckers. Yeah. He literally likes to fucking dilly little kids, little boys and girls. But they don't explore that because they don't want to have the backlash on it. But that's what you got to do to make that villain a real villain. And then to offset that, you got to have the hero, the one that represents all the opposite of that, the true beginning, like the hope, the hero.
Yeah,
but anyway,
he can be sympathetic up until the point where he starts to commit those crimes, sure. But the second he commits those crimes, he's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
and all I'm saying, well, I think we're both in agreement here. I'm excited to see what they want to do, but I'm hesitant. And if they're gonna lead in, if they finally say Matt Reeves' Batman is going to connect with the Joker universe, then I'm like, fuck yeah, let's build that up. Let's see what happens.
100%, dude. Jonathan Brunner says, I wanted to do that for you guys. You guys have been such a big support to me and really helped keep my spirits up through the last couple months. We love you, Jonathan. Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, man.
You're an awesome fucking dude, and you're a fucking strong fucking dude. And keep killing it, my friend. We love you. Anthony Stamp says, video idea, Slenderman works for DoorDash delivering Subway sandwiches. That would be fucking hilarious.
That would be hell. Yeah, we could get away with doing that. That would be really funny.
He should pull up with like an actual Jimmy John's like, actually, I don't think you should eat this.
It's like, what we have here? And this, you ordered this? And then I would torpedo it at him. Like, fuck it.
Gary Catlow says, in the comics, he gives 3 origins. One was a failed comedian, Arthur Fleck. One was a hitman for the mob called Jack Napier. One was Red Hood. So to do a trilogy, do that, not sequels. That's an interesting thought, cool. Too. And then
like he would, that would be cool. Like Joaquin Phoenix would have a new origin in the sequel.
That's interesting too. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, for sure. Different. Different.
But I also feel like this is where Warner Brothers is so fucking stupid. They're so stupid. They have all these different things to pull from, like the idea, the 3 Jokers that just happened in the DC comic books, where you could literally have Jack Nicholson's Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, and then Joaquin Phoenix Joker be in one movie together, and that they've always represented a different side of Joker.
Well, look at the many different ways society can create a villain,
and you can have them in one movie. Yeah, I mean Heath Ledger unfortunately is gone, so you can't do him. But
that's what I'm saying. Like if you did another brand new origin story, whether it's Joaquin or someone else, and you said, hey, look at how else you can treat people like shit and end up creating this fucking monster that we're all scared to death of. That's interesting a little bit, I think. But
I like that. Yeah.
All right. Last thing that we want to talk about tonight, and we will get the fuck out of here, guys, is there was an interesting thing I saw on Reddit tonight, and I just wanted to ask you guys your opinion on it. Some food for thought, something to think about. Someone posted on Reddit, they said, how do you think the climax to Halloween Ends will play out? Please no spoilers if you read the script. Same thing here. Don't spoil
Well, we
if you
did.
read the script.
We read the script. Mike and I are friends with Chris Nelson, so we know.
He sent it to us. We know everything. That's a lie. We're joking. But we don't know shit. And we refuse to read the Halloween Kills script, by the way, because we don't want to know. But here's their three options. How do you think it'll end? But I'm not asking you how you think it'll end. What I'm asking you is which one. No, actually, I am asking you how you think it would end. What do you think happens at the end of Halloween Ends? A, Laurie kills Michael. B, Michael kills Laurie. C, Laurie and Michael die together. What do you all think happens?
I think that's. I mean, I think what I want. And again, I don't want to. It's real. I hate speculating because it could be so fucking wrong. But I think story wise, watching the flick, I think that the best way to end it is Laurie and Michael killing each other in a very dramatic way with the music. You know, I would slow down the John Carpenter Halloween theme music, like bum 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 bum, and then put some beats into it and make it a very dramatic moment. And you know, and again, it would be like, you know, Van Helsing slaying Dracula. Like you lock them in a battle where neither one's going to get out of it alive, and you end it that way. However, I got a weird feeling, man. I got a weird feeling that Jamie doesn't make it out of the second one.
Well, I think she's already signed on for the third one, though.
She is, but for flashback sequences, maybe. Because we don't know what we don't know what that contractual agreement is. I mean, you signed on for 3 movies 100%, but you could be dead in the second one, and then
That's
all
true.
you signed on for,
and
you could be in the flashbacks.
Yeah, that's true. And then they really let Allison take over the lead for the
but I think that's what they want to do anyway.
It could be. It's possible. You know, I think. You know, how ballsy would it be, by the way? I just want to say this real quick. How ballsy would it be to have the end of Halloween Ends to be Michael killing Laurie and getting away with it? And then the movie ends. And then what do you have? You have the exact same feels that you had sort of at the end of Halloween, the original one, where he disappears from the grassy knoll and he's gone. And then you hear him breathing and you see the living room shots. You see the living room shots and you see all that shit. Only this is even more fucked up in reverse because he finally kills Laurie and then the movie ends. And then Michael's free. Laurie's dead. They're never going to follow this movie up. That, to me, that would be the most ballsy, wild, fucking scary ending. If you had to ask, I think maybe that's where they should go. But I think what'll happen is that I think my best guess is that I think actually option A. I think Laurie will kill Michael and she'll die in the process. So
that would be option C.
Yeah, I'm a fucking liar. Option C is probably where it's.
By the way,
go.
JT Kessler says Laurie J. I know I said Jamie because I'm talking about Jamie Lee Curtis, but yeah, Laurie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. You know, I don't think Laurie's. Yeah, I don't think Laurie's gonna kill him. Look, and I don't even feel like it would be ballsy and it would be crazy if Michael did kill her and run away. I killed her, and he run away like in a South Park episode.
And then the fucking stuff.
But the thing is, they only want to do 3 movies. Blumhouse wants to do 3 flicks with him.
No, there's no continuation, but they just end it and they go, "Hey, Michael won." Fucking dark shit, isn't it? Bye.
I think that they're gonna wrap it up. I think that them killing both or each other makes the most sense. But
it does. You're right.
Again, Laurie, and again, the reason why, look, it's not a secret that they want to push Andy Manichak and they want to push, you know, other characters forward. If they pushed Laurie Strode out in Halloween Kills and they wrote her character off, he kills her, and they make it a dramatic scene, they were going to have a dramatic fight. And they had a dramatic fight in Halloween 2018, but not as dramatic as they really wanted to make it. If they saved all that energy and all that shit for the second one, and they make this dramatic fight, and he fucking slices Laurie Strode's goddamn throat and almost, beheads her straight up, and it almost rolls onto fucking, the set of True Lies because he cut Jamie Lee Curtis's head off that bad. I think she shows up in flashback sequences, or she shows up in memories or ghostly images or something like that in the third one. And then they push everything on, like Mike said, Annie or whatever, and have her continue the story on, and that's the final battle with Michael. And I almost feel like that's very Shakespearean. I feel like Laurie has fought him all these years. She fought him in 2018. They finally have a head in the second one, which is usually the darkest of the films. If you're doing a trilogy, it's usually the darkest, like Empire Strikes Back. And then in third one, you have the new blood taking it up. So
there's also the possibility that we know that Laurie Strode's going to be in the hospital in Halloween Kills. There's also the possibility of the fact that she's in the hospital. She's going to be kind of out of sight, out of mind for a while. And then the whole movie is going to be about Michael and the town and everybody else while she's there. And then the third movie, they circle back to Laurie, and then they do the final matchup between the two of them too. That's another option.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. That's really good. By the way, I don't know what you mean, Charles. We don't Rob Zombie H2. We don't Rob Zombie H2. I don't know what you mean. That's not a Rob Zombie. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to eat Chips Ahoy and calm down.
I love Chips Ahoy.
I don't know what he was talking about. Anyway, but it's really interesting that you brought up the hospital scene, because what if that's where she dies? That's a callback to H2. And a lot of people thought she was not going to survive that night when Michael was using a fucking stupid ass scalpel hunting down the nurses and doctors. I feel like that would be, because look, Halloween 2018, if they proved anything, they proved that they like to have callbacks. They like to throw in some fan service. If the final battle took place in a hospital, or at least took place around the hospital or whatever, and Laurie is in the hospital, I feel like you're going to have a moment with Michael and Laurie in the actual hospital. And they never really had a full-on fight necessarily. Loomis was the one that came in and fucked the world up when Laurie tagged him in. It was like Legion of Doom. She tagged in Hawk to come in and deal the dirty.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
I don't know.
I think just the fact that it's already in the hospital already does the callback itself. But I do think that, like, I'm not saying she absolutely survives Halloween Kills. You could be right with the flashbacks. But going back to the end of the question, I just think I think the most likely scenario is that they do die together. But I do wonder, though, man, because here's what you have to think about. Is the fact that they intended for Halloween 2018 to be the only movie they made, right? They had a trilogy in mind, but then for a while there, they thought, let's just make this a one movie finale and then move on. Remember, we talked to John Passarella, the guy who wrote the novel, and he even had to call them, and he was like, I wrote this novel under the understanding that this is the only standalone movie we're doing. And in that novel, and in the original thing they did, it was left ambiguous, and Laurie was sitting there bleeding. Michael was hurt. Then Michael was gone. The original test screening ending, and then it ended. What will really fucked up is, what if none of these are right? What if Laurie doesn't kill Michael? What if Michael doesn't kill Laurie? What if they don't die together? But what if they're both sitting there, a tree across from each other or across the room from each other, bleeding out, and the movie ends? I think that will be highly disappointing.
Yeah,
for a lot of people.
That's a terrible idea. That's so bad. That's like that's like the ending of The Thing.
Yeah.
And they're both like not trusting each other. I mean, that's been done before. If John Carpenter allowed that, it's like, hey, dude, you literally just copied the plot ending for The Thing with Kurt Russell and Keith David. You literally just copied that.
I think that they're smart enough not to do that, especially after the test screening. But it is a fourth possibility that's not mentioned here.
I think that. I don't think that's too on. I mean, that's literally copying. Yeah. But I feel like, dude, I think it's. We're all speculating, and we're all sitting back here jacking our meats and eating popcorn, talking about Laurie Strode being in Halloween Kills and how badass she is. How do you know that she's not in it for fucking 35 minutes and then she gets fucking offed?
Yeah.
And then they want to move the film around Andy Matichak and her mother and go from there, because that's a very strong possibility. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because look, I'm not talking about the recent Instagram. And that's awesome that Jamie Lee Curtis actually commented on our Instagram post. I'm not saying that she did, that she outed anything. I'm just talking about speculation alone. It's very likely that the studio are thinking, hey, you know what? It'd be really cool. Laurie Strode's awesome. If we give them a great death scene with Michael, and she goes out like a champion and she tries to take down Michael and she hurts him. And she did in the first one. She blew his fucking fingers off. But in this one, like, I don't know. She does something else. Then kill her off and then have the movie focus and turn with Annie Matichak and her mom. Yeah. And then continue. And then the flashback sequence happens in the third one.
It's fascinating.
I'm just I don't know.
It's provocative. It gets the people going. I think the fun thing is, and what tells you that they're doing this trilogy right so far, is that we don't know. Laurie could kill Michael. Michael could kill Laurie. He could kill her in kills. He could kill her in ends.
Yeah.
They could die together. Maybe it's ambiguous. Who the fuck knows? All
That's
I know
why
is that,
but that's why it's great because
Yeah.
that's why
what you
that's
want.
why as Halloween fans you don't know. Like
Yeah.
if you watch back in the day, you know Laurie Strode's gonna survive. You know Jamie is gonna survive, or Daniel Harris. You know those
Yeah.
characters are gonna make it.
But where it's a bookended trilogy, you know it's got to end.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's why I was when you watch Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween 6, that was the first time you're like, what? They took Jamie and they
Yeah.
fucking killed her early on, and you're like,
Anything can happen. Huh? Last
Yeah.
super chat of the night as we walk off, home run this bitch. Andre Martinez says, "I dress up as a girl and I punch myself in the face.
see,
So
yeah,
do we all.
that sounds like a Goosebumps novel.
What's new? I'm gonna do that tonight as soon as we get done here.
That sounds like R.L. Stein title. I dressed myself up as a girl and I punched myself to hurt me.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all for spending your Friday night with us. We'll be back Wednesday night with another live stream. Plenty of videos in between now and then, filmed in person together. We love you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with us
See you
tonight.
guys.
Good night and get fucking crazy, even if it's sober. Drink some fucking V8. Good night.
I thought you say vegan juice.
Vegan just.